hijack. What we have?
And what's the actual situation with...
The following is a Cable 9 sports presentation.
Gander Flyers hockey is brought to you by Molson Canadian, what beer's all about, and by Subway, fresh food for the healthy appetite.
Well, hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Gander Gardens. It's Game 5 in the finals of the Central Beothuck Hockey League between the Gander Flyers and the Badger Bombers. The Flyers hold a commanding 3-1 lead, and if they win Game 5 tonight, then it's on to the All-Newfoundland for the Herder Memorial Trophy. Whereas if the Bombers lose, it's to the sidelines for the rest of the 92-93 season. Hi, I'm Ted Patey, and right after this important message, we'll be right back. We'll talk to the two coaches, Gary Shepard of the Badger Bombers and Jeff Goss of the Gander Flyers.
This is your community channel, Cable 9.
Sometimes getting a painting to come together can be a real mental exercise. When I don't see what I want, I feel stressed. I have learned from past experience, when this happens, to put down my brush and put my feet up and give my mind a chance to dream. Often this is all the paint and canvas that I need.
It's hard to put it all together by yourself, to create the kind of home where your family can grow and prosper. That's why we look out for each other, for our friends and neighbors too, why we're always searching, with them and the police, for new ways to build and maintain a safe and healthy community, a prosperous and happy home. We're no superheroes, just people together, partners in preventing crime.
Well, Gary Shepard, the coach of the Badger Bombers. Gary, the Gander Flyers have a commanding 3-1 lead. Should they win tonight, then they have the Central Beothuck Hockey Final Championship and on to the Herder. Should Badger, if they lose, send us to the sidelines, but if Badger wins, it's back to Badger Arena tomorrow. How do you see tonight's game?
Well, it's a big game. It's very important that we get off to a good start, a good fast start, and I think we will. Our players are up for it, so I think we're going to have a very good game.
Well, Rob Penny picked up one-game suspension this week, and that may be a deciding factor, too. I mean, Rob Penny is a caliber player that no team would want to lose.
No, we're missing a big hockey player there, but we got now we got a good defenseman that's been playing up forward for us all year, in Perry Paul, and he's going back on the point for tonight's game. Any more changers for the Bombers tonight? No, everything is as it was last week for our Sunday's game. What's the game plan for the Bombers tonight? Hard work. Every single shift, we got to go out and work hard. Make every shift seem like it's our last shift. And that's the only way we're going to beat them. Okay, Gary, thank you. Thank you. Well, Jeff Goss, coach of the Gander Flyers. Jeff, you hold a commanding 3-1 lead going into Game 5 tonight. What do we see from the Flyers tonight?
Well, we're not going to change nothing. We got to come out dumping the puck, try to use our four lines. We didn't get to use them in Badger. ran into penalties both ways, power play, penalty killing. Used some players too much, others not enough. We got to get 4 lines going, get the puck in their end and 4 checkout, try to tire them out that way and go from there.
It's a must-win situation for the Badger Bombers tonight, and as a coach, you know they're going to come out flying.
Yeah, we got to hold them back. Same as I said there to you last Sunday. First period is going to be crucial. I think if we can get up on them early, 3 or 4 goals, which is going to be a lot easier here said now than we're going to do it on the ice. If we can get ahead of them, we'll be all right. The more goals they get, the more momentum they're going to get, obviously. We got to come out and try to shut them down, play a close checking game, and like I said, we got to try to use our 4 lines. They're pretty well using 2 lines, every now and again using their 3rd line. If they're going to use 2 lines, we got to shut them lines down, like I said, then hope for a break here or there. And like I say, it's just take it from there tonight. I mean, there's no pressure on us. We got it there. We're up 3 games. Everyone thinks that we got to win this. We don't have to win this game. We'd like to win it, finish it off now as soon as possible, but if we don't, we got another day.
Do you think the 1-game suspension to Robbie Penny will be a benefit to the Flyers tonight?
I don't know if you call it a benefit. He's not going to be playing. Jenkins is gone for 2 games. In my opinion, they got the better of that deal, but that's something you got to live with. I mean, he's a defenseman that they got. He's a force out there when he plays. He does a lot of hitting in that. So that's one person we haven't got to worry about to go in the corners with. But I don't think he's going to make or break them. I'd rather have seen his brother out of the game than him. I think the George makes more of a force factor than he do. But like I said, he's going to hurt them. And Jenkins, we're missing Jenkins. That's going to hurt. We're missing young Kenny McDonald tonight. He got an exam on the mainland university at 7:30 tonight. So well, I don't think it's going to make a lot of difference. I don't think one player to either team right now is going to make them or break them.
Well, you think, will you be using the same game plan that you used at the Gander Gardens here in game 1 and 2?
Oh, most definitely. Dump and chase the puck. Dump and chase all the time. Only thing we're going to have to sharpen up on this time around is they've gone back. They're doing the same thing we are. They done it in Badger. We thought they might, but they're dumping the puck. So the big thing is now we got to get our wingers on their wingers. We got to give our defensemen a few extra seconds to be able to get to the puck, turn, and make a play. What was happening in Badger was their wingers were flying free. Their wingers were leaving the neutral zone, hitting our blue line, and coming on in on our defense. Our defense were getting to the puck, and before they could even turn, they had a man on us. We got to just get a little small clutch or a little hook in somewhere to slow them down so our defense can turn and make the play.
Your big anchor man on defense, number 19, Scotty Young. Got injured game 3. He sat out game 4. Is he back in the lineup tonight?
He's out there for the warm-up. He's going to tell us what it's like when he comes back. We were telling him today, I think he's going to play. Scott is not going to be one to give in. We've asked him that if it hurts, to let us know. And like we told him, we said, we don't have to put all in the hat tonight. We got another 3 chances. If he is hurt, he could sit out tonight. We got another 48 hours before he plays game 7 if necessary. So if he had to sit, he can sit. That option is open to him. But he's going to make that decision on his own. We're not making that for him. He's going to tell us how he is when he comes off the ice.
Well, Jeff, knowing Scotty Young and the caliber player he is, I'm sure he's going to make the right decision. Good luck in Game 5 tonight and the rest of the series.
Thanks very much.
And now, right after this important message, we'll be right back, and we'll talk to Jerry Holden, Vice President of the Gander Flyers Hockey Club.
Say, did you hear what happened to Rufus? He got rabies.
Good heavens. I don't believe it. How did it happen?
His owner let him run around without a leash, and a rabid fox bit him.
Wasn't he vaccinated?
I suppose his owner forgot.
Rabies. It's not worth the risk. Did you remember to vaccinate your pet this year?
You're watching Cable Atlantic Cable 9, your community channel.
Well, Jerry Holden, Vice President, also Treasurer of the Gander Hockey Association. And Jerry, it's been a while since we've seen you back in our old St. John's days. You've been here at Gander quite a while now, almost 20 years. And you've been involved in hockey, I think, right from day one when you came to Gander.
Yeah, it's been, well, 1970 I came here first, and I played with the Gander Flyers that year. And then after that, well, I've part of the executive ever since.
Fox, I'm going to call you Fox, and that's what we've always called you, and I think that's what everybody calls you here. The two herders that the Gander Flyers has already won, the first herder they won, you were playing, I think, with St. John's that year, and you never made it to the herder final. And the second herder, you were directly involved. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, I was on the executive, the second herder that the Flyers had won. The first one, the Gander team won, is ironic, is 25 years ago, and this is the 25th anniversary of that first one, so this means a lot to ourselves right now, and we're hoping something good might come out of this.
And of course, Fox, after the first herder that Gander won the next year, you were again with the St. John's Capitals, and I think that fourth line of yourself, Squid Conley, Jack Hill, and Dick Barrett, I think you were called the rowdy men of the St. John's Capitals that year.
Oh yeah, well, we picked up for the guys, the superstars who were hurt or wouldn't travel on the road, and we were the guys that we filled in where we could, and we were part of the team, and that's all that counted.
Well, directly involved in two already, and possibly now you're heading for your third. How do you see that one?
Well, the competition right now, both teams there's some injuries, and it depends on this game tonight. I think if we can pull this one off tonight, that we'll give the teams out east a hard go for it. Our team is well disciplined, they're well coached, they're a great bunch of guys. Our fan support has been great all year. Our sponsors, our volunteers, and the town is really behind us, and you can see it here tonight. We got a sold-out house tonight, and it looks like there could be 1,700 or 1,800 fans here, so you know that the people are behind us, and we're hoping for the best tonight. We want to have it over tonight.
Fox, I'd just like to talk about our old friendship days back in St. John's when we played softball with and against each other, and I think there was a couple of years there we even battled it out for the batting championship.
Yeah, that brings back a lot of memories. The Kilbride days, we'll never forget those. We had a lot of fun, and there was a lot of, what, 50 pounds ago, was it?
50 pounds ago, in 1 year we were battling it out for the batting championship, you and I. You beat me out in the last game on a bunt single. I'll never forget that one.
Yeah, that was.
And I'll never forgive you.
Well, the best man won, I suppose, but no, we had a lot of fun back those days, and the Kilbride boys, I see them all occasionally, and a lot of good friends, and we had a lot of fun back in those days, and it's nice to see yourself, and you're doing a good job.
Foxy, one thing I want to mention, I haven't met all the Gander hockey players team this year, but the few I did meet, I must say they're a great bunch of guys.
Excellent bunch of fellas, on and off the ice. They're one of the best bunches of fellas, team participants that we've had. They're all gentlemen and real good guys. On the road, they're fantastic and well disciplined. And Jeff Goss and Chris Conrad have done a terrific job. And our team captain, Scotty Young, he's helped us out quite a bit. And hopefully something good will come out of this, especially for all the work we're doing and all the volunteer work and all the rest of it. So,
Fox, thanks for taking time out to talk to me.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Jerry Holden, Vice President of the Gander Hockey Association. I'm Ted Patey. We're going upstairs now with Kenton Dunphy, play-by-play of the first period.
Recently, a baby girl with kidney disease was admitted to the hospital. Because her kidneys are failing, her blood is slowly being poisoned. While she's waiting for a transplant, medical problems hinder dialysis. She's suffering from anemia and is prone to pneumonia and other infections. Now, how long do you think this baby girl can hang on? Please give generously. We can't live without you.
In Gander, you're viewing Cable Atlantic Cable 9, your community channel.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kenton Dunphy along with Ted Patey. Ted, it's a big game of hockey going to be played here tonight in the Gander Gardens.
Well, you certainly got that right, Kenton. It's a must-win situation for the Badger Bombers, and if they lose this one tonight, then it's to the sidelines for the rest of the 92-93 season. Whereas for the Gander Flyers, then it's on to the all-Newfoundland against the winner of either the Flatrock Flyers or Bell Island. And surely we have a packed house here tonight, and we're really in for an exciting one.
I expect as well, Ted, tonight to see the Gander fans be louder than we've ever heard them here in the Gander Gardens.
No two ways about it, see. They were loud in games 1 and 2, and they should be no different tonight.
Big note here tonight, the referee is from Stephenville.
As the two teams get ready to line up at center ice in this all-important Game 5. In Game 1, the Flyers came out flying after a 5-week layoff, and they surprised the Bombers and came up with a big 5-2 win. And in the second game, once again, the Bombers just lay flat, especially after winning 2 big ones against the Lachine Jets to put them into this final. And the Flyers surprised them in Game 2, 8-2. And of course, Game 3 and 4 switched back to Badger. And that game was tied 5-all late in the third period when big number 19, the big anchorman on defense for the Gander Flyers, he popped one home with just 10 seconds left in the game to give the Flyers a 6-5 lead. And of course, with the Bombers hauling their goaltender out, Scotty Young made no mistake into the open net. And the Flyers went on to win that one 7-5. Of course, in Game 4, also in the Badger Arena, in a must-win situation, the Bombers did win that game by a score of 4-1, with Jeff Kelly attending the nets that game for the Bombers, and the Flyers giving Pete Edison a well-deserved rest after playing 3 top-notch games, of course, for the Gander Flyers. And we have a short delay here. We see the linesman already with one of the players' stick in his hand. I don't know if, Kenton, I don't know if we have a stick measurement right away or not.
I'm not sure if we got a stick measurement or they're just maybe trying to get back out into the dressing room area. Ted, a couple key players not in tonight's game.
Well, you got that right. One of the key players for the Bombers who picked up a gross misconduct in Game 4 last Sunday in Badger, Robbie Penny. And, of course, he's a big, strong, young defenseman for the Bombers, and he picked up a 1-game suspension. And number 6, Brent Jenkins for the Flyers, he picked up a sparing match penalty, and I think George Fardy, the NHA president, ruled on that this week. And of course, Jenkins picked up 2 games, and that's 2 top players that the fans really like to see, Brent Jenkins and of course big Robbie Penny. And I understand that Kenny McDonald is writing an exam either tonight or tomorrow morning, so he's not available for tonight's game.
And Gander's team leader, Scotty Young, number 19, he's got a nagging injury that flared up after last weekend.
Well, he picked that one up, Kenton, in Game 3. I think him and Peary Paul collided along the boards. And as we get ready now for the first period, it's over to Kenton Dunphy and your play-by-play.
Well, it's Bobby Bugden with the puck. Still trying to get it up to Jacobs, but Jacobs couldn't pick it up. Now Gander back in their own zone. Mel Best with it, drops it for Todd Baldwin. He puts it right around the boards to Jason Boyd, but he stopped at the line. shot across, dropped to the slot. Hubie Hollett shoots. Edison with a save. The fans are going to start early tonight. Try to rally on their team. Meanwhile, Greggy Byrne just turns around, dumps it back into Gander's zone. Byrne now the puck. He'll turn around, just shot. Edison with a blocker save. Hubie Hollett racing in for it. Jason Boyd stops him. Puck dangerously into the slot as it comes out of Gander's end. Racing forward is Barry Hammond. Hammond just poke checks it in as Gander will change up. Kennedy will come out and get a stick on it. Bobby Bugden behind the net. Bugden misses his pass. He was trying to hit Perry Paul. And it goes back into Gander's zone. Racing back forward is Gander's captain, Scotty Young. Deion Stroud now with the puck. He gets it out to Dennis Briffett, but Briffett loses it. Now Badger back in over the center line. Armstrong is knocked off the puck. Dennis Briffett over to the slot to Chris Conrad. Shoots off wide. Conrad back into the slot, but handily picked up by Ross Kennedy. Kennedy over to trying to get it to Perry Paul. Now it's in the Gander zone. Jamie Norman just turns around, takes a slap at it. Conrad will knock it down. He'll bring it out. Conrad at the center line, trying to hit Deion Stroud. Goes off a Badger player, and Dennis Griffith picks it up but loses it again. Keith Loader now over the line. Keith Loader right in. Shoots! Hits the crossbar, looks like there, Ted. Looks like it hit the crossbar, went off of Edison's skate. Edison played it handily with the foot in the air. Big chance for Keith Loader.
Well, a full 2 minutes there at Kenton without a whistle, and both teams had an excellent scoring chance, especially the Bombers, when Keith Loader went in all alone, like you say, hit the crossbar. But prior to that, Perry Paul kept the puck inside of his own blue line and fed it up to Hubie Hollett. And Hollett had a great chance, but Pete Edison comes up big once again.
And we see the goal light and everything go on then, which really confused me. Didn't know if it went up and under. But it looked like it went off either the foot or the crossbar. It came back out.
Whereas down in this end, Chris Conrad had a pretty good chance for the Flyers as he almost got in front all alone from Roger Kennedy and just failed to tuck it home.
You see someone was hit up in the stands with a puck. We see the trainer for Gander right up over the boards and up there. Gander now with the puck. Kennedy's going to come out and play it. He'll play it right back off the glass. Russ Goss dumps it in as Ricky Shepard races out. So does indeed Delaney for the late offside. Bobby Bugden making it up, a pass up forward. That's intercepted. But he just dumps it in. Jimmy Young will turn around with the puck. Bobby Bugden with a shot. Edison with a save. Junior Butt trying to tuck it home. Bit of pushing and shoving down in front of the net. Edison covers it up. Ted, one of the big key players that was really, came in as a quiet player into this series, and I was told early on in the series that he was mainly used as an extra. It was Chad Stunkless, and he really impressed me the first 2 games here in Gander as a leader, and someone that can make things happen for Badger at any time.
Well, that's right, Kenton, especially in Game 2 here in Gander when the Bombers came out flat. Chad Stuckless and number 10, Davey Jacobs, picked up a lot of the slack for the Bombers, and Stuckless, he's just been playing great as of late. He didn't play that much during the year. Out of some pushing and shoving there with Hubie Hollett. And I think Todd Baldwin.
Referee Oates is pretty quick to send him to the bench. Well, doing the game for us tonight is Oates, referee Oates, and doing the lines is Hallwell and Young. Oates, I'm here, is from Stephenville, which could be interesting because he doesn't know these players.
That's true, too, Kenton. And getting back to Chad Stuckless, as I mentioned, he never played that much the year, but he shone when he got a chance to play. And the Gander Flyer, who impressed me last weekend, especially before he's working the corners, of course, big number 66, Deion Stroud.
Stroud is one of those players that you don't hear a lot about because when you get, as you say, stars on the team, much as Badger has the same, and Stroud is always someone that's there to do his work, and he had a pretty handily season last season. He had a bit of a nagging hand injury this season. He's getting right back into it now. Jacobs now behind the net for Badger. They'll just pass it around. Turning now with the puck is Ron Howell. Howell gets it up to the winger. Over to Davey Jacobs. Jacobs. He's stopped at the line. Scotty Young hits him. Now it's Gander bringing it out. Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald's being tied up. Puck's just around now behind the net. Racing forward is Howell. Howell bumps into Gillingham. Jamie Norman with a quick flick of the puck. Just goes behind the net. Badger now bringing it out. Greggy Byrne didn't see it coming to him. Fitzgerald takes it away, but just dumps it into the open ice. Davy Jacobs picks it up, backhands it all the way in. Edison will stop it, turning with the puck now is Kevin Dickey behind the net. Dickey coming out. He's got it to Jason Boyd. Boyd with a handy pass to Barry Hammond. Long shot, easy save for Roger Kennedy. Greggy Byrne dumps it back for Perry Paul behind the back pass. Paul was hit at the center ice area. Now it's Kevin Dickey. Dickey, the long shot from center. Gander looks like Ted is just going to play the dump and run game, much to what they've been doing all along. Now Bogdan with the puck. Bobby Bogdan gets it out. And now Perry Paul. Perry Paul drops at the line. We got an offside call as Russ Kennedy was outside the line.
Wow, we've played 4 minutes and 2 seconds in this first period. It started off fast for the Flyers, but it seems to just be in a lull right now. We still have no score, as both teams will make a change. As I said, 15:58 left in the first period. No score.
As we said, doing tonight's game is referee Oates. Doing the lines is linesman Hallwell, Brad Hallwell, and Brad Young helping him out as well on the lines. Kennedy just plays it off the glass. Griffith tries to strip it. Kennedy plays it again. Billy Armstrong getting the puck out. Meanwhile, he bumped into Deion Stroud. Armstrong will come back for it now. He's got Bogdan with him on the other side, but he elects to go forward. Jamie Norman just clears it in. Gander has to rush out for the delayed offside. Bobby Bogdan. Capacity crown here tonight. Jamie Norman just turns around. He dumps it back in. Now Badger look to bring it out. As Armstrong gets it up to Chad Stuckless. Stuckless with a long shot. It goes high. Edison deflects it with the glove and hits the no smoking sign. We'll get a stoppage in play.
Kenton, probably the two youngest players on the ice here tonight. Both are on that shift. Was Jason Boyd, number 18 for the Flyers, and Billy Armstrong, number 7 for the Badger Bombers, with Armstrong just playing midget hockey last year, and this is first year senior, so it's a great experience for him. Jason Boyd, the youngest player on the Flyers, really impressed everybody in Badger last week, and especially with his speed up and down the wing.
Armstrong going to be a great defenseman in this league. I think Ted plays a strong game for Badger. Goss now facing off with Greggy Byrne. Looks like Goss will get thrown out of the circle. Dee Delaney will step in, and Dave Jacobs will step in for Badger. Puck is dropped. Ricky Shepard breaking out with it. Shepard just dumps it and runs after it. He's taken into the boards by Penny. Ricky Shepard trying to do the dump and run. Meanwhile, George Penny just took him right against the boards. Now Penny got the puck behind the net. Penny intercepted by Ricky Shepard. Turns around, quick wrist shot. Easy stick save for Roger Kennedy. Hubie Hollett will race for it. He gets it. Hollett with the stick up. Goss turns around, dumps him. Russ Goss didn't like when Hubie Hollett came in with the stick up high. Dean Delaney out to the slot. No one there to take it. Greggy Byrne will capitalize. He'll bring it out. Byrne tries to get it to Hubie. Hubie couldn't pick it up. Scotty Young. Young over the line. Scotty Young, definitely the fan favorite for Gander. Jake for Hubie Hollett. Quick save by Edison. Puck goes high. We get a stoppage in play.
Well, Scotty Young, certainly the big ankle man on defense for the Gander Flyers. Now Russ Goss and Hubie Hollett, they do a bit of pushing and shoving down in front of goaltender Pete Edison.
I wonder where maybe the referee doesn't know the players that Gander will try to knock Hubie off the game. Hubie plays with a lot of heart, but he can get knocked off his game really easily and take a penalty, and maybe Gander's going to capitalize on that tonight.
Well, both penalty gone to both the Flyers and the Bombers. Russ Goss, number 9, and number 11, the captain of the Badger Bombers, Hubie Hollett, and they'll probably pick up 2 minutes for 2 minutes each for roughing. 14-13 left in the first period. No score in this game, number 5.
Gillingham makes the pass up to Chagnon. Bruno Chagnon. Chris Conrad with him, and a great leg save by Bobby Bogdan. Lovely save there, Ted, as Bobby Bogdan just kicked out the leg and stopped the puck. Would have been an easy chance for Conrad to get in on Kennedy. Roger Kennedy comes out now, stops the puck, circles around with it, and Badger brings it out. Stopped center ice by Jimmy Young. Bruno Chagnon, he trips over the blue line. And now we got Badger turning around with it. It's Loader up to Kennedy. Kennedy looking to get it across to Foley. He couldn't. A shot from the point. It goes wide. Perry Paul keeps it in. Now we got Gander breaking out with it. Some of the Gander players will change up. Long shot by Gillingham. Kennedy with the leg save. Mel Best just turns around, dumps it in. George Penny over to Perry Paul. Paul looks to hit Russ Kennedy. He couldn't. Todd Baldwin, turn around, dump it in. Racing forward is Mel Best. Perry Paul likes to go around the net, brings it out. Scotty Young coming off the bench, playing the puck. Mel Best, he's tied up with Barry Hammond. Perry Paul strips the puck away. Perry Paul, a long shot. Edison with the blocker save. Scotty Young over to Mel Best. To Hammond. Hammond couldn't get control of it, puts it in. Racing forward is Jason Boyd. Boyd looking to get it slot. Nifty move by Jason Boyd. Couldn't quite get it out, though. Great defensive work by number 7, as we said, Armstrong. Jason Boyd all alone. Puts it up. It's up there! Jason Boyd puts it up and over Roger Kennedy.
Oh, a big shot from the point by big number 19, Scotty Young. Jason Boyd deflected that puck. It went up over the right shoulder of goaltender Roger Kennedy. He did not see where the puck was at. One of the Bombers defensemen tried to clear it out, but it just rolled over the goal crease, and the Flyers lead it by a score of 1-0.
Billy Armstrong trying to bring out the puck. Looked like an awful player, and Jason Boyd there all alone, and by that time Roger Kennedy went down, and he just looked like he just flicked it right up and over.
7:33, the time of the goal. Jason Boyd, we'll wait the official announcement.
Bogdan with the puck. Bogdan moves it to Davey Jacobs. Jacobs turns around, gets to Greg Byrne. He just dumps it in. Todd Baldwin now with the puck. Baldwin tries clearing it up, but it hits a linesman Young. Puck just being tied up there on a lot of the boards. Now it's taken away by Bobby Bogdan. He brings it in. And the shot! And the save! Greggy Byrne with a couple of great chances. And he's disappointed there, Dick.
Well, Pete Edison taking up where he left off in Game 3. And he's after making 4 or 5 great stops on the Bombers from point-blank range. And that time was no different from the stick of Greggy Byrne. We never got the announcement. Jason Boyd did score the goal. We don't know who assisted. It came at 7:33 the first period. And the Gander Flyers lead the Bombers by a score of 1-0 in this Game 5 of the best-of-7 final in the Central Beothuck Hockey League.
Gander now trying to get the puck out. Goss and Kennedy. 2 number 9s, Russ Kennedy, Russ Goss. And they'll tie up the puck. We'll get a face-off just to the right of Pete Edison again. 11:47 now left in the first. Gander leading by a score of 1-0. Get going. Goss ties up Kennedy so he can't get the puck. Jamie Norman now behind the net. Norman, he makes a spinorama. Jamie Norman will bring it out. Norman, give him a little bit of room and he can move. He tries clearing it in. Meanwhile, it goes off a Badger player. Oh, and a man taken hard into the boards. That was Greggy Hayden. Shepard, he's stopped. Taken down. Shepard was taken down there by Ronnie Butt. Now Hayden tries to go around the boards with Shepard. Trying to go ahead in the slot, but no one there to pick it up. Russ Kennedy, he's pulled down by Shepard. No penalty called. Shepard, he's hit by Hayden. Now Russ Kennedy coming out with it. Kennedy, he'll dump it in. Racing forward is Ronnie Butt. Butt tied up by Jamie Norman. Norman will stick it away. Now Norman falls down, comes back to the point. Large shot. A save and a great chance for Keith Loader, but he couldn't capitalize. Rod Howell with a shot on the point. Hard and on the ice, and Edison will come up with another save. Get a little bit of pushing and shoving now in front of the Gander net.
Well, Ronnie Butt getting taken out of the play right in front of P. Edison by number 4, Jim Young. Just prior to that, Kenton, a couple of hefty body checks up here in the Badger end when Dean Delaney took Greg Hayden out of the play. And then about less than a minute after that, Greg Hayden hit Ricky Shepard, number 22, pretty hard. So a couple of hefty body checks early in this game.
Both teams hitting hard, and Gander having to clear out from the net, as you've seen there, when Rod Howell took that slap shot. He took it hard and on the ice. Great chance for Keith Loader for deflection, and Gander's got to keep the head up and keep the players out of that crease area. Bob Bugden now at the puck. He'll just play it around the boards. Greggy Byrne. Byrne's looking to get it back to Perry Paul. He'll skate out with it. They'll decide to switch spots. Paul will move it into, or Byrne will move it into Paul. Paul will play it around the boards. Bugden. He'll make a quick flick on the air and loses the puck, and Baldwin clears it out. Kennedy will come out and play it. Puck now around the boards. Greggy Byrne. Greg Byrne makes it up to Jacobs. Jacobs to Hubie Hollett. And we're going to have, that didn't look like a two-line pass to me.
Two-line offside, and 10-10 left in the first period. The Gander Flyers lead the Badger Bombers in Game 5 by a score of 1-0. And of course, if Gander should win this tonight, it's on to the All-Newfoundland Hurling Memorial Championships. And of course, Flatrock disposed of Pooch Cove last night in overtime by a score of 4-3. It was a great game at the Brother O'Hare Arena. And they'll take on the Bell Island team starting this Sunday at 6 o'clock.
Hubie Hollett with the puck. He took the face-off, took the puck right in the Gander zone, dumped it in. Pat Baldwin went back for it. Puck dangerously out in the slot. Badger now with the puck. Right out in front of the net. J.B. Jacobs couldn't capitalize. Gander player sliding across. Another shot by Bird. Puck still in. Perry Paul over to Bugden. Bugden, quick wrist shot. Hubie Hollett plays it off the boards. Now we're Perry Paul. Right up to Jacobs. Jacobs with a shot. Looked like Edison might have got a piece of it as it went wide. Gander clearing it out. Another dangerous chance there, Ted, as they're clearing it out.
All the Bombers on the power play now while the Flyers to serve this penalty.
Bugden. Bob Bugden, he's seen a lot of ice time already in this period. He tries to play it over. Conrad, he manages to take it away, and Jamie Norman will steal it. Kennedy with a dangerous play. Ricky Shepard manages to hit Russ Kennedy and take the puck. Shepard turns around. Head to the slot, no one there. Bugden will take it. Bugden going to Hubie Hollett. Hubie didn't catch it till he looked back and seen it in his feet, and he had to circle back for it. Bugden to Byrne. Byrne in over the blue line. Jason Boyd races after him. Head to the slot now to Kennedy. Kennedy playing high slot. Loader back to Bobby Bugden. It's a shot. Edison with a save. Badger doing a great job getting that puck to the slot. Really making Gander work for it. Now we got Jason Boyd. We got a 2-on-1 Boyd and Gus. Boyd shoots. Kennedy with the save.
All a big save from the stick of Jason Boyd as he raced in all alone. And Roger Kennedy comes up big once again, as did Pete Edison down at the other end when the Bombers had the pressure on the power play, and Edison come up with some more big saves. But Roger Kennedy, Johnny on the spot on a big save off the stick of Jason Boyd.
Jason had the choice to either pass it to Goss or elect to shoot, and with Bobby Bugden coming back after Goss, he did the proper thing, I think, elected to shoot, and Kennedy just took the puck right away from him. Fitzgerald now. He'll face off against Jacobs. Jacobs will move out. Chad Stuckless will come in. Fitzgerald gets it back. And Davey Jacobs takes it away from the Gander team. Jacobs in over the blue line. He stops. He just avoids a check. In the nick of time, Jimmy Young was coming full board after him. Scotty Young, the brother for Jimmy. Bruno Chagnon. He'll come out with it. And Badger will take it away. Armstrong, he's tied up. Meanwhile, Chad Stuckless gets back in the nick of play. Play in the nick of time. Took it away from Gillingham. And he just dumps it in. And Junior Butt, he's hit hard. Scotty Young starting to throw the weight around. And we get a whistle.
Well, 7:45 left in the first period. And the Flyers lead the Bombers by a score of 1-0 in this all-important Game 5. And just prior to this face-off, Chad Stuckless and both Junior Brutt got taken out of the play heavily down to the side of Pete Edison.
You wonder how often Scotty Young will be able to do that. Looks like Rick Shepard going off. And it is.
That's Rick Shepard limping off, assisted by Ben Fitzgerald. While Ricky Shepard did get hit up in the Bomber end here by Greg Hayden. We don't know if that was the play he got hurt on, but we'll try and pick up the report and have it for you sometime this period.
Gas facing off. Just to the right of Edison. Scotty Young, I wonder how effective he'll be. Will he take the chance and dive in front of slap shots, which he does quite frequently. With that bad knee, you got to wonder if he'll play it a bit safe, but he's making the hard hit, so he's showing no favoritism to his knee.
Well, we have a penalty. I think it's called to the Gander Flyers, and it looks like Todd Baldwin once again. It is Baldwin, number 5. And in all likelihood, it happened in front of Pete Edison, so he's probably called for interference. We'll await the official call. 7:38 left in the first period. 1-0 for the Flyers. And a big win tonight here by the Flyers, and it's all the all-meet land for the Herder Memorial Trophy.
Face off, just to the right of Edison is Byrne facing off against Goss. Shot from the point. Looked like Perry Paul fanned on it a little bit, didn't get full wood. Jamie Norman clears it all the way down. Roger Kennedy come out and play it. He's playing off the boards to Hubie Hollett. Hollett makes a quick flick to Perry Paul. Jacobs was in over the line first. Now it's Hubie Hollett. Hollett with a shot. Goes wide. Jacobs will pick it up. Greggy Byrne all alone in the slot. Comes back. Hubie Hollett shoots. Goes wide. We got a broken stick on the ice. Now it's Jamie Norman. He'll clear it down. Oh, and for linesman there, Hallwell just avoiding that, ducking in the nick of time. Now it's Chris Conrad. Nifty move. Over to Mel Best. Best with a wrist shot. Kennedy with the leg save. Coming out now is it Huey Hollett. Puck almost stripped from him. Gets it back to Bobby Bugden. Now it's Jacobs over the line. Jacobs with the pass to Perry Paul. Paul trying to forward it right back to him, but he couldn't get it to him. And Scotty Young will just dump it in for Gander. Jan Stroud giving a little stick work to the leg of Roger Kennedy. Keith Loader. Surprised Stroud didn't get a slashing call there. Keith Loader going cross slot. Greggy Byrne tried to take it and hand it, but he couldn't glove it down. Now it's Scotty Young behind the net. Byrne controlling the puck. Greg Byrne. Scotty Young dives down. Byrne still controlling. Great playing by Greggy Byrne. Great patience as he maneuvers around the Gander players. But Gander gets it back out of their zone. Perry Paul, shot from center ice, goes wide as it hits Edison, and he deflects it. Bruno Chagnon can't get it out. Gander having a little bit of problem clearing the puck out of their own end. Now they get it down to the other end. Bruno Chagnon, he is stopped as he races in. Rod Howell gives him a little bit of work. Russ Kennedy now with the puck. Kennedy for the Badger Bombers. Gets it up to Chad Stuckless. Stuckless looking to get Keith Loader, and he picks it up. Mike Gillingham takes it away in the skates. Scotty Young. He just hits the neutral zone. Billy Armstrong gets the puck stripped from him. Kennedy will come out and play it. Off the boards. Gillingham flicks it in. They got to go out for delayed offside. Now they're all right. Meanwhile, Badger will go back and play the puck. It's Stuckless. Stuckless with Loader and Russ Kennedy. Stuckless dumps it in. Kennedy elects to hold back and not rush in after it. Norman with the puck. Bruno Chagnon. He falls and goes head first into the boards. Now it's Barry Hammond with a lock shot. Kennedy, problem seeing it, as soon as he seen it drop, he covered it up and held on for a whistle.
Well, 4:45 left in the first period. Flyers lead 1-0. A big save there by Roger Kennedy off the stick of Barry Norman. As both teams now will take the face-off to the right of Roger Kennedy. A big crowd on hand here tonight, Kenton. Hoping that the Gander Flyers will wrap the series up tonight, and then it's on to the Herder Memorial Championship.
Capacity crowd tonight, and tickets went really fast for this one. A lot of anticipation, and I'd say if it goes to Badger tomorrow, it'll be a tough ticket to get. Badger playing it around the boards. Jacobs. Brian Murray was yelling for it. Jacobs couldn't get the puck to him, and Jacobs was taken hard into the boards. Dean Delaney, he'll dump it in. Mel Best racing after it. Best just plays it around the boards. Now it's Bugden. Bobby Bugden. In the neutral zone. Bugden will come right back and pick it up, as no one could seem to get a stick on it. Hayden and Bugden passing back and forth. Bugden just dumping in for it. Racing was Junior Bunt. Meanwhile, he was tied up at the line. Badger trying to get it back. Stuckless, back to Bugden. Bugden with a wrist shot. Was off the leg of Kevin Dickey.
Dickey with on the boards. Stuckless turns around, quick snapshot, and Edison picks it out of the air.
A big glove saved by Pete Edison, and this is the goaltending that we saw in Badger in game, especially in game 3 with Pete Edison. He was just making save after save, and a quick glove hand of that shot from Chad Stuckless and Kenton. This third line for the Bombers, Stuckless, Junior Butt, and I think was Ronnie Butt. They're just taking up some of the slack there and giving the top lines a rest once in a while.
That could have been a big chance for Badgers. Stuckless got it up, and had it been a little bit lower, Brian Murray was right in there and might have been able to get a deflection. Edison, or rather Dennis Privet, going across ice passing, and is intercepted. Now Badger having problems getting out of their end. They finally do. It's Hubie Hollett. Hollett, he is tipped and he's gone flying. Jimmy Young said, put on a parachute, I'm sending you overhead. Now it's Deion Stroud coming in with a puck. Stroud, he's hit. Two players collide.
Wow, a couple of hefty
like he
checks.
got worse than that when Armstrong was taken against Stroud.
And Jimmy Young put the hip into Hubie Hollett, and he just flew in midair. A beautiful hip check. There's not too many hip checks you see those days, Kenton in hockey, but when you do see it, it looks beautiful.
Yes, Hubie Hollison was going end for end there with Jimmy Young giving the hip check.
3:17 left in the first period. The Flyers lead the Bombers 1-0 in this all-important Game 5 in the best-of-7 final in the Central Beothuck Hockey League.
Fitzgerald back to Norman. Norman puts it around the boards. Bobby Bugden bringing it out. Bugden's bumped in by Brandon O'Shania, but he keeps on going with it. Russ Kennedy. He gets it into Harry Foley. Now Gander bringing it out. Gander can't seem to get it out of their end very well. Badger keeps capitalizing it in the neutral zone. Two-line pass called there.
Ken, when you mentioned the Flyers having a little trouble getting the puck out of their own zone, I don't think Scotty Young is as healthy as he'd like to be tonight, because when Scotty Young is healthy, they got no problem. When Scotty back there, he can lug that puck up ice whenever he wants. But you'll notice tonight, as soon as he gets the puck, he dumps it off. And, you know, Scotty Young is just not playing the game that he's capable of tonight due to their injury. And but you got to give credit to Scotty Young.
Scotty Young playing with all heart here tonight. And if he wasn't on the bench, I'd hate to see what would be happening for Gander, because he just lifts his players up so much, and he's playing with so much heart that I don't think I've ever seen a Gander player come in and inspire a team as much as he does. Now Badger bringing it out. It's Harry Foley. Foley at the center ice, takes a shot. It goes in. Edison will cover it up.
Well, all three players
pushing and
converted
shoving.
on Keith Loader. After he took the shot, looking for the rebound, he took a tap at it, and as he rounded the Flyers' net, three Flyers converged on him just to let him know that they're there just in case.
I think another thing too, Ted, Gander trying to clear out the puck, and Gander does a lot of playing it off the boards and stuff like that. And the boys from Badger are starting to pick it up. They're starting to pick up the game, and they know what they're going to do, and they're doing the best just to knock it down.
Well, after what Gander Flyers did to the Bombers in Game 1 and 2 and 3 in Badger, like you say, they are picking it up now. It's a must-win situation for the Bombers. They know it's no tomorrow. It's to the sidelines if they lose tonight. And they're playing a gutsy game out there tonight. Gander has all four lines coming at them all the time, and it's still only in the first period, 2:19 left in the first period, and we had two big periods to go.
Byrne will face off against Barry Hammond. Hammond gets it. Mel Bass takes it, gives it up to Jason Boyd. Look at Jason Boyd go. Boyd, great play by Bobby Bugden as he poke checked him. Bugden leading the defense for Badger here tonight. Badger players running into each other. Kennedy does a little bit of pushing and shoving with Barry Hammond as he tries to break through. Bob Bugden. He plays there. Jacobs taken right in by Barry Hammond. I'm surprised we didn't get an elbowing call, as the elbows came up pretty high from Barry Hammond as he gave it to Jacobs in the face. Jacobs turns around with it. Now Greggy Byrne will play it as it comes around. Byrne taken in by Barry Hammond. Long shot, Hubie Hollett. A leg saved by Jimmy Young, and it goes wide. Jacobs racing in after it. He's pulled down. Jacobs and Baldwin. Nothing amounts to that as Edison will cover it up.
Ball 1:26 left in the first period. Kenton and Bobby Bogdan logging a lot of ice time on the blue line tonight, I guess due to the absence of Robbie Penny. And Bogdan's after breaking up a couple of beautiful plays. One with the stick and another one just a moment ago in front of Roger Kennedy. And he's going to be feeling the effects of this going into the third period.
I thought Bobby Bogdan did a great job on Jason Boyd. Instead of trying to play the body, take the body out, he got right up beside him and he just brought the stick right across in an excellent poke check.
Jason Boyd really turning on the Jets.
Gander in their end. Puck comes around the board, racing forward is Badger. That's Loader. Loader out to the slot. And it bounced loosely, and Gillingham will pick it up. Mike the Hammer, Gillingham just dumps it in. Gass will pick it up. Gass hit the Conrad. Conrad with a deflection in the air, and it goes wide. A great effort there by Gander. Now Billy Armstrong will turn around, regroup for Badger. Armstrong up to Loader. Loader has to race back with it. Keith Loader having a problem getting it out. Conrad strips it away. Shagnow turns around. Kennedy strands the ground and covers up.
Well, two big chances for Chris Conrad just a moment ago. Gillingham and Russ Goss set Conrad right up in front. He failed to tuck it home, and another beautiful shot by Conrad that time. Kennedy covers up. He's not going to take no chances this late in the period, especially with Chris Conrad in front of him. 45 seconds left in the first period, and the Flyers up 1-0.
Ted, I'm not too sure right there. If Kennedy was an inexperienced goalie or a younger goalie in the league, he stood his ground, waited for Shagnow to shoot. A lot of goalies would have dropped to the knees by that time. Shagnow might have had an upstairs shot, but Kennedy just held the ground.
You got that right, Kenton. Just goes to a lot of experience from Kennedy playing senior hockey all those years in senior NAHA.
Pete Edison slipping and falling, and before Hubie Hollett can get it, he covered it up, and he's going to get a delayed game call. Gass is going to race after Oates and argue that one. I'm not sure what choice he really had. I think Hubie Hollett might have got in around him if he didn't cover it up.
Well, I don't think Pete Edison had much choice. And 36 seconds left in the period, and the Badger Bombers will go on the power play. And of course now they'll send out their big guns.
Gander's going to also argue the situation that it may have been icing. Edison was in behind the red line when he played it. So Deion Stroud's going to serve the penalty. We got 36 seconds left in the first period. Loader will get it back to Bugden. Bugden over to Perry Paul. Paul with a shot. Scotty Young tries the deflection that goes in. It got through Scotty Young.
A hard slap shot from about 10 feet inside the Flyers blue line. I don't know if Pete Edison even saw it. Kenton, it just went in the top corner. And this game is tied at 1, and the Bombers score on the power play.
That had to deflect off of Scotty Young. I thought Scotty got all body in front of it, and all I seen was the red light go on and the mess be shaking. A big, big goal for the Badger Bombers. They're right back in it. It's all tied at 1. As we see their fans up behind their bench, they're showing their approval. Badger having one section of the stands here tonight, Ted, and they're making a lot of noise.
On 19:30, the time of the goal, and this game is all tied at 1.
Kevin Dickey with the puck. Dickey tries to get it in. Perry Paul. He'll come out and pinch in on the defense. Jacobs. Jacobs with a shot goes wide. Greggy Byrne turns around, shoots. Bogdan with a shot, it goes wide. Everyone getting a chance to take a slap at it. Now it's Deion Stroud. Bringing it back for Gander. Dumps it to Goss. Goss picks it up. Goes off the top of the glass up into the boarded area behind the net.
4 seconds.
4 seconds, Ted. If I was in this situation right now, 4 seconds left, I'd pull Edison out of there. I'd pull Edison out and go for that extra attacker.
That's right. 4 seconds is not much chance of scoring with 4 seconds.
It's going to definitely take longer than 4 seconds to get the puck to the other end of the ice from a face-off.
Well, the Bombers will send out their top face-off man. Here's Greg Byrne to take this one.
Puck goes down, and that'll be it for the first period. Jan Stroud and Greggy Byrne mixing it up a little bit. They elect not to. Now Hubie Hollett and Russ Gass.
Now both players leaving their benches and skating towards the blue line. I don't think much is going to happen here, Kenton. And as the Bombers and the Flyers skate off the ice to end the first 20 minutes of play, and we have a 1-1 tie with Jason Boyd scoring at 7:33 of the first period to put the Flyers up by a score of 1-0. Then at 19:30, left in the period, Perry Paul on a hard slap shot that probably deflected off Scotty Young, tied it for the Bombers. So at the end of 20 minutes, it's the Flyers 1 and the Badger Bombers 1.
Well, folks, don't go nowhere. Go and use the washroom, get a bottle of pop and a bag of chips, because we're going to have a barn burner, and we still got lots more hockey to come. Stay tuned. Second period action just in a moment's time.
When I grow up, I'm going to be a rock star. I'm going to be a big hockey star.
Even stars have to finish school. Have you done your homework already?
Of course.
Right. 5 more minutes, then put the games away.
You can have your music. There's no Stanley Cup for rock stars. Who cares? I'll have my own race cars. Yeah, well, maybe I'll watch part of your little race on TV while I relax on my tropical island. You won't be able to see me because I'll be flying overhead in my private jet. You have to look up, not down, dude. I'll be circling the Earth in my space shuttle. When I go up, I wanna go up. Mom, what were you thinking about, Mom?
Call Foster Parents Plan. Toll free. 1-800-268-7174.
You're viewing Cable 9, your community channel.
Well, both teams back on the ice for the start of the second period. This game is tied at 1-0. After 20 minutes of play, Jason Boyd put the Flyers up 1-0, and that goal came at 7:33, and then Perry Paul tied it up for the Bombers at just 30 seconds left in the period. And now we're ready for play-by-play of the second period, and here's Kenton Dunphy.
Badger looking to bring it out of their end. That was Rod Howell with the puck. He couldn't quite get it all the way down the ice. Goss will turn around, dump it right back in. Back racing for it is Howell, Ricky Shepard. Shepard left the last period, had a bit of a head injury. He's back into the game.
Well, we have a Badger player down on the ice right behind goaltender Roger Kennedy.
That's Rod Howell. Him and Shepard collided pretty hard into the boards.
And Rick Shepard back on the ice for the start of the second period. He limped off late in the first period, but he seems to be okay, and especially after laying a hit on number 4 of the Bombers, Rod Howell. Getting back to that first period of play, there was a total of 7 penalty minutes, with the Gander Flyers picking up 5 and the Badger Bombers picking up 2. The Bombers also outshot the Flyers in that first period, 14-9. And as we say, it's a must-win situation for the Badger Bombers. It's snow tomorrow. They'll be gone to the sidelines for the rest of the 92-93 season if they lose tonight. Whereas the Gander Flyers has gone to the All-Newfoundland for the Herder Memorial Championship against either Flatrock or Bell Island.
Hayden now with the puck behind the zone for Badger. He'll clear it out. Jamie Norman couldn't play it in his skates. Edison, he'll turn around, play it around the boards. Kevin Dickey with the puck. Dickey clears it out. Ricky Shepard racing after the puck. Out forward is Roger Kennedy. Kennedy plays out the boards. Now Russ Goss will pick it up. Goss makes a move around Hayden. Goss, he's stopped. Puck comes out into the slot zone. Jamie Norman stripped by him from Bobby Bugden. Bugden gets it over to Jacobs. Jacobs to Hollett. Offside call. Maybe Hollett real upset with Dean Delaney.
Wow. Hubie Hollett going in front of goaltender Pete Edison, took a little dig from Delaney, and he didn't like that, but referee Oates right on top of it didn't see to call on Dean Delaney, and just let it go.
Face-off will be to the right of Pete Edison, just outside the line. Facing off is Barry Hammond for Gander against Russ Kennedy. Hammond gets it back to Todd Baldwin. It's taken by Keith Loader. Loader's dumped. Badger will just dump it right in. That was Harry Foley. Now Scotty Young behind the net. Scotty Young over to Jason Boyd, up to Mel Best. Best shoots it in off the glass. Racing forward is Hammond. Mel Best plays it in around the boards. Hammond couldn't pick it up. Junior Butt with the puck. Players go banging into each other in the corner. Mel Best, a quick shot. Kennedy with the save. We got a little bit of pushing and shoving in front of the net.
Well, there's number 5, Perry Paul, right in the middle of that. After Russ Kennedy comes up with a big save. Now there's number 7, Barry Hammond, and Greg Hayden having words there. Nothing big going to develop out of this one. 18:37 left to play in the second period. This all-important 5th game in the finals of the Central Beothuck Hockey League between the Gander Flyers and the Badger Bombers. All tied. The Flyers won, the Bombers won, but the Flyers hold a commanding 3-1 lead as 2 Gander Flyers head towards the sin bin, and 2 Bombers, Greg Hayden, Perry Paul. I'm not sure who the Flyers.
Jason Boyd and looks like Barry Hammond in there for the Flyers.
That's correct, number 7 and Jason Boyd, number 18. Those penalties coming with 18:37 left in the second period, and a 1-all tie.
Conrad and Kennedy facing off against each other. Linesman Young will look to realign them. Puck comes back. Scotty Young goes across the slot, and Chris Conrad couldn't deflect it up. Perfect now behind the net. Puck, he loses the puck. Gander brings it in, score! Chris Conrad brings it in, and he bounds to the fence. Chris Conrad comes out from behind the net, and Kennedy didn't even see that one coming.
1:34 just played in the second period. That puck just come from nowhere to the side of the net. And of course, when you got a player like Chris Conrad, he's not going to make no mistake once he pounces on that puck. And I don't think Roger Kennedy even knew where it came from, Kenton.
Chris Conrad right after the goal, running over to the bleacher creatures, doing a little bit of bowing to his subjects. And they show their approval as Gander jumps up to a score of 2-1. Ted, a lot of people talking, here in Gander that they're saying that there should no longer be the herder. The players aren't as good as they used to be. The league isn't as good as it used to be. Back when we had the Faulkners and people like that. But a lot of these kids grew up watching the herder. They know how good it is. And I think they're just as honored to be playing for something that the Faulkners have played for and things like that. And I don't think anyone should take it away from any of these players out there, the herder and things like that.
Oh,
that falls down on Edison.
And that came completely over to the top, and that's a heavy bar on the top, and that came right over the left arm of Pete Edison. He seems to be okay. That net is heavy, Kenton. You could hear
that had got him in the back of the net. We could have had a serious injury.
Well, you could hear the sound of the iron when it hit the ice, and Pete Edison seemed to be okay. But getting back, Kenton, to what you were talking about, the herder player, were the players not being so good as they were in the days of the Faulkners and so forth. Let's look at it this way. The Herder Memorial Trophy was first put up for local senior hockey until the imports invaded our provinces. And now we're back to the local boys, and this is what it's all about. And as far as I'm concerned, the hockey I've seen in the last couple of years is just enjoyable as I've seen in the old senior league.
And they want it just as bad. These guys want to play for the herder. They've heard about the herder all their lives, and they want to play for it. The puck in front of the net. Kennedy with a save. Kennedy got a stick hooked up with Bruno Chagnon right up underneath the jersey.
And just before game time, I had a chance to interview Jerry Fox Holden, Vice President and Secretary of the Gander Hockey Association. And herder play is no stranger to old Foxy. He was involved in one of the Gander herders and also with St. John's, and not taking anything away from the old senior NAHA, but the hockey's here, it's interesting. Just the fans will tell you, just look around this building tonight. This is the way it was in the old Gander senior hockey days, and it's back again. That goes to show that our Calabros hockey is just as good and exciting.
And when Foxy talks about the old herder days and it lights up, everyone in the, a lot of the younger players listen to him and they hear about it and they hear about it. And this is something they're really striving for. Badger, of course, went to the herder last year. The Gander trying to make it back there. Byrne with the puck out front. Jacobs with a shot. Edison with a big leg save. Bugden. And Edison will come out and play it. UB Holland could have had another one where he could have maybe slapped it down. Edison had to stretch out far and he'll glove it.
While UB Holland talked about her harp, when Edison made that big save, Holland was just to the right off Edison. He just skated over, give UB a little tap and a smile, and UB returned it. And
you know, it's a lot of camaraderie there on both sides, and it's just excellent to see.
Puck comes out, Shepard. He squats in underneath Dean Delaney, takes the puck away. He'll fan on it, have to stop at the line, dumps it back for Kevin Dickey. Dickey will skate back for it. Dickey up to Shepard. Shepard just deflects it on in. Him and Bugden will race for it. Bobby Bugden will play it around the boards. Goss turns around, slaps it back in. Hubie Hollow play around the boards to Davy Jacobs. Jacobs trying to bring it out. It's intercepted by Todd Baldwin. Meanwhile, Bugden, he'll play it as Gander tried to dump it right back in. Gander having a problem dumping the puck. Badger picking it up everywhere they can. Greggy Byrne up to Hubie Hollett. Hollett got a little bit of room. Quick shot. Edison with a save. Big chance for Badger on the rebound. They keep it in. Over to Hollett. Hollett trying to get in the slot. Kevin Dickey plays it. A big chance for Rod Howell. He fanned on the rebound when Hubie Hollett had that first shot. Kevin Dickey. Dickey will get it out. Badger controls the line. They'll just dump it back in. Edison almost slipped again when he came behind the net. They clear it down. We'll get an icing call. Gander players getting tired. They were trying to get a whistle there, Ted, so they could change up. Badger all over them.
Well, both the Bomber players and the Flyers players just stepped out of the penalty box. And they were at full strength. Now we have 16-14 left in the second period. And the Flyers lead the Bombers by a score of 2-1. And the Bombers had a bit of pressure on Pete Edison that time and just failed to tuck it home.
Face-off just to the left of Edison. Barry Hammond facing off against Ross Kennedy. Kennedy gets it back. The shot from Armstrong goes wide. Mel Best turns around. Plays off the boards. Can't clear it out. The shot from the point. Edison has to be quick and jump down and cover it up.
Now, Scotty Young and I think Harry Foley, number 16 of the Bombers, started a little pushing and shoving there, but nothing materialized out of that. As Pete Edison come up with a stick save that time on a weak shot.
Barry Ball got it away and it just squirted out from Edison's stick a little bit. He had to drop to his knees and cover it up right quick. Now we'll have the face-off to the right of him. Hammond and Kennedy facing off. Hammond ties up Kennedy, so Bell Best will bring the puck out. Jason Boyd. He's stopped by Armstrong. Keith Loader couldn't pick it up in the neutral zone. Gander will just dump it right back in. Race after. Backboard is Perry Paul. Junior Buck. Now it's Kennedy. Russ Kennedy over the line. He's got Loader across. Pass out. Oh, and it goes out the skate as Scotty Young goes right back to Russ Kennedy. And he couldn't play it off the Gander player. Roger Kennedy made the great save. Hammond. Out, dangerous pass comes out into the slot. Badger pick it up. In the neutral zone. Bit of banging, pushing, and shoving. Back into Badger zone. Backboard is Perry Paul. Racing after him is Dennis Briffett. Briffett out to Deion Stroud. Stroud over to the slot. Conrad with a shot. Kennedy with a great save. Briffett back to Conrad. Conrad turns around. Another shot. Conrad, nothing stopping him out there now. Gander has to race back out with the late offside. They go right back in after it. Chris Conrad, very explosive player. He get him on a roll. He won't stop till he knows that's another one. Dennis Briffett behind the net. Bit of pushing and shoving. He's just dumped by Billy Armstrong. Yeah, Stroud takes Armstrong into the boards. Looks like Perry Paul and Dennis Briffett, two of them just fall on the puck. Perry Paul gets right back up and jumps on Briffett. Dickey doing a bit of pushing and shoving over there. Looks like Harry Foley. Don't think we'll see much amount to this there, Ted.
Well, just prior to this pushing and shoving here at Kenton, Deion Stroud and Briffett did a lot of spade work in the corners for centerman Chris Conrad, and he had a couple of good shots. Roger Kennedy come up with a couple of good saves, but Stroud and Briffett doing their job and doing a lot of spade work in the corners. 14:35 left in the second period. Flyers lead the Bombers by a score of 2-1. Just over the 2-minute mark in the second period, Chris Conrad puts the Flyers up by 1 as they lead 2-1.
Face-off will be just to the left of Kennedy, just inside the line. Referee Oates over giving some instructions to both sides, Ted. Looked like he's going to sort of set a little bit of ground rules here.
I don't think referee Oates is going to let this game get out of hand as he talks about benches.
Brian Murray getting the puck back for Bobby Bogdan. He falls down. Hayden with a nifty pass. Hayden up to Chad Stuckless. Stuckless with a shot. He fans on it. An offside call as Junior Butt was it over the line.
Ball number 15, Bobby Bogdan just to the side here, and he's limping a bit.
Pretty
and
bad there.
The Bombers just can't afford to lose another defenseman. Robbie Penny already setting out a one-game suspension, and he's favoring that left leg there at Kenton.
Bobby Bogdan in a lot of pain. He's the anchor to the defense for the Badger Bombers.
Well, he's after logging probably a good 18 minutes already, and still 14:24 left in the second period. He'll take a rest. He'll be okay.
Todd Baldwin back there. Baldwin plays up to Shania. Shania to Fitzgerald. Now it's Jimmy Young bringing it out. Young dumps it right into the Badger zone. Racing for it is Gillingham. Gillingham and Howell collide. Badger bringing it out. Stuckless with a move off the boards. Goes right back in. Gillingham, he couldn't control it. Now it's Brian Murray. Long shot, he fans on it. Jimmy Young, he dumps Chad Stuckless. Stuckless caught off guard on that one. Gander will clear it in. Kennedy will play it. Now, both teams having problem controlling the puck. Stuckless winds up. Long shot. Todd Baldwin has to steer it aside. It was dangerous in front of Edison. Bruno Chagnon. He plays it in. Gander will race for it and do a change-up. Gander player, as he was trying to get off, he collided with the defenseman Howell. Now Howell will go out for Badger. Gilby Hollett was taken to the ice, and a lot of the Gander fans cheering for that one. Scotty Young. Young plays it off the top of the glass. Back out into the neutral zone. Dave Jacobs turns around with it. He's taken into the boards by the bungee man himself, Scotty Young. Rick Shepard with a great pass from Gass. Oh! It goes out the leg of Kennedy, and Russ Gass couldn't steer it home. A great chance there for Gander. Norman back to Scotty Young. Shepard, he's pulled down. Now we're back out into the neutral zone. This shot, Edison with a pad save. Gander having to tie up Hubie Hollett. Badger just shoot it right back in. Lay outside, so they'll all race back out. Now Norman plays it up to Dean Delaney. Delaney couldn't play it. Now Badger bring it right back in. Scotty Young getting a bit of pressure from Keith Loader. Badger just throw it in. Couple players collide and fall. That's Armstrong. Armstrong getting a little bit of work to Delaney and nothing called. The fans are screaming bloody murder on that one. Dean Delaney got his face drove into the ice a couple times by Armstrong. Now you got Scotty Young and Junior Butt having a bit of words. And Goss and Kennedy.
Well, Harry Foley and Scotty Young behind the Flyers net. And they're just having a few words. But Billy Armstrong, I think it was Delaney.
Dean Delaney, he got his face just driven right down into the ice.
And referee Oates never called a penalty on the play. He was watching it all. Both teams will change. It's 11:57 left in the second period in this Game 5 in the best-of-7 final in the Central Beothuck Hockey League between the Gander Flyers and the Badger Bombers. Of course, if the Flyers should win this one tonight, it's on to the Her Memorial All-Newfoundland Championship, and that should be an exciting one.
And I guarantee you, Ted, the Badger Bombers aren't going to give up lightly here. They're playing for all the marbles in the world here tonight. Gander trying to get it in. No one's giving an inch of ground. Mel Best tries to get at the slot. Jason Boyd fans on it. Boyd fanned on it as he tried to slap it out of the middle of the air as it's coming through the crease. Russ Kennedy. Kennedy back to Foley. Foley with a quick shot as it goes wide. Mel Best, he falls to the ice. Jimmy Young and Keith Loader hit. Hammond, he's rode into the boards. Now Kennedy turning around. Kennedy trying to make a move. Great play by Mel Best. Gander player literally jumping into the bench, so he's avoiding offside. And we got a shot, and the net goes off. Kennedy makes a save, keeps his composure, and the net went off the mooring.
While Jason Boyd there, Kenton going in down that right wing, inside the Bombers' blue line. They got to the side of the net. Kennedy falls. Of course, the net comes off the moorings. It's blowing down. And like you say, the Bombers playing with a lot of heart tonight. They're not going to give up that easy. They'd like to take it back to Badger tomorrow. And I've been informed by one of the executives of the Badger Association that if Badger should win this game tonight, tickets will go on sale at 12 o'clock tomorrow, 2 hours prior to game time at 2 o'clock at the Badger Stadium.
Ted, have they made any clarification if the 7th game would go Monday night?
Not yet. I talked to President Ralph Foster, and he says before the game was over tonight that they will have a decision as to when the 7th game will be played if it goes 7 games.
Good chance for Gander in front of the net. Chris Conrad couldn't deflect it home. Scotty Young put it right across the slot on the ice. Badger cleared all the way down into the Gander end. Todd Baldwin with the puck. Baldwin out over the blue line. Now he's at center ice. He'll clear it in. Racing for it is Dennis Briffitt. Briffitt gets it over. Bobby Bugman manages to stop it. Bugman back on the ice after his brief injury. Got a little rest and rubbed his knee a little bit, I suppose, and he's back into it, Ted. Briffitt behind the net. Bring it out. Stu scores! Looks like Chris Conrad. Oh, he's on fire, Ted. We got to get him a hose and hose him down. He's in the right spot at the right time. Yeah, Stroud brings it out, and Conrad was just on fire. A great effort by Stroud, Briffitt, and Conrad.
Well, that goal comes at 9:26 of the second period. A beautiful goal by Chris Conrad from Briffitt and Stroud, who did a lot of spade work once again. And of course, Conrad making no mistake as he shot it over the shoulder of Roger Kennedy. And the Flyers go up by 2. They lead this 5th game now by a score of 3-1.
Have a chance now. We'll look at our trivia question. Trivia question goes like this. What's the name of the Gander Flyer hockey player who was born in Albany, New York? Yes, we do have a dual citizenship player playing for the Gander Flyers. You know that? Call 651-2652. You can win yourself a cooler bag. Compliments of Molson's. Jimmy Rogers, our local representative, gratefully donating another prize for a great cause for Flyer hockey. Harry Foley trying to bring it out. Kevin Dickey turns around, plays it out the board, comes right out in front, shoots! Oh, one of the Badger players got in front of the puck, Ted. What an excellent save. Kennedy hit the play and took a crazy hop off the board.
All the Bombers called for icing, Kenton. Like you say, it did take a crazy hop off the board. Kennedy didn't see it, and one of the Gander Flyers was ready to poke it home, but just as the Bombers shot it out over the blue line, and he had a wide open net had he got that shot away. And of course, that would have put the Flyers up by 3 big ones. With 9:49 left in the second period, 3-1 Gander over Badger.
I want to remind you folks, if you're watching the game here on Sunday and sitting back and enjoying some great hockey, there's going to be some great hockey in the Gander Gardens on Monday. Monday, 4 o'clock. Yes, Russia is coming to town. The Murmansk Bantams, team that was here last year, playing our Gander Co-op Bantams. Tickets are on sale for that. You can get them at the door, or you can get them from any member of the Bantam organization. So don't miss it. Murmansk, Gander Co-op Bantams. You can't make it? We're going to have all the action for you right here on Cable 9. Monday afternoon, Chris Conrad will be joining me in the broadcast booth for that one. He is the coordinator of minor hockey, Ted, so he'll know a lot about each one of the players on the Gander squad. Scotty Young bringing it out. He runs into a little bit of problems with Kennedy. Ross Kennedy tried to put a stop to it, but Gander gets it in over the line. Ricky Shepard drops it back. Meanwhile, there was no one there. Harry Foley will bring it over. Looking to make the pass, and he gets it to Keith Loader. Jimmy Young. He's got Shepard going. He couldn't make the pass. Bobby Bugden stops it. Edison will come out. Scotty Young will play it around the boards. Ricky Shepard. He'll just dump it in. Kennedy will deflect it up into the bleacher creatures section.
Well, Kenton would like to mention here that so far this period, George Penny, the big defenseman, number 14 for the Badger Bombers, has yet to take the shift. And Penny did pick up an injury in Game 4 in Badger last Sunday, and he was hurting then, and I understand that he went to a chiropractor twice a week, but he hasn't played a shift yet in the second period, and it looks like he's gone for the game.
And that's another big loss for the Badger team. So Badger playing with some nagging injuries. Puck comes back. Kevin Dickey with a shot. Save it in front. Mel Bastany couldn't put it home. Bit of pushing and shoving down front. We got Hammond and Billy Armstrong. They're going at it in front of the net. Huey Hullett now in the middle of it as well.
That's Barry Hammond, 2 number 7s, and Billy Armstrong. Nothing big going to materialize out of this as both linesmen are in there, and they'll have them separated now. They'll probably pick up roughing penalties now. Yubi Holland's in there having words with Hammond.
Looks like we'll see a few penalties. Well, if it should go to another game tomorrow, Ted, I assume you and Jack will have the game for us?
That's correct, Kenton. And, of course, that game, if it goes tomorrow Sunday, will be shown in Gander on Monday night.
8:33 left here now in the second. Might just stay tuned at the end of the game. Ted and myself will pick the Subway player of the game, which will go to a deserving Gander player.
And if Gander should haul this one out tonight, which they're on their way to doing, myself and cameraman Wayne Chaffel would be right in the middle of the celebrations, right down in the Gander dressing room, and we'll be showing you all the celebrations. Now Yubi Hollett and
Huey and Mel Best are getting ready to lose it. Huey got Mel to drop the gloves.
Now Ron Howell moving in.
Howell looks like he's going to pinch in for Huey.
Yubi, I think, will do a lot more talking than he will fighting, and he just likes to psych out the other players, and he's still going back and having more words.
Huey can draw a good penalty, too. He's not afraid to psych a guy out of it and take the quick turn and run away, and meanwhile, the other guy will get a penalty.
Well, one Gander Flyer and a Badger Bomber already in the penalty box, as the Gander fans give Yubi a good hand.
Still 8 minutes and 33 seconds left in the second period.
Well, Barry Hammond in the box for the Flyers. And Billy Armstrong for the Bombers, 2 number 7s. 8:33 left in the second period in Game 5. And it's a big one for the Gander Flyers. And to the sidelines for the Bombers for the rest of this season. If they lose this one tonight, it's been a good season for the Bombers, Kenton. At the start of the year,
it's great to see them in the league after they almost weren't there.
That's right, and Yubi Hollett was away to the mainland working at the time, and of course when he arrived back in Badger and discovered that there was no Badger team due to a little financial problem, Yubi stepped right in there, threw in some, some financial woes there and got the team back. He says this team is not going to die at least. He said we're going to defend this year and defend the Herder if we got to. And like you say, they weren't even in the league at the start, and here they are in the final.
It would have been sad, actually, Ted, if our defending Herder champion or defending Central Beothuck, team could not have been there. It would have been really disappointing. We're great to see the guys back, and that just shows how much heart Huey Hollett has for this team, and not just the team, the league. He has so much dedication to this league. He just couldn't see it go. He couldn't see it. Didn't want to risk it.
That's right, Kenton. And when Yubi Hollett retires, when he hangs up his skates from this game, you'll see a lot more Yubi Hollett on the executive side, because I'm sure Yubi is the type player who's going to put back in what he took out. And he's just that type player. And I'm sure we're going to see, as a matter of fact, there's rumor going around Badger in the last little while that probably in years to come, the Badger Arena will be called the Yubi Dome.
Oh, it's definitely, and people are already calling it that now, and how fitting it would be to him. And when the day does come and it's going to be sadly missed, but when the day does come when Huey does not lace up and goes out on the ice, you're going to see his jersey. You're probably going to see it hanging from the rafters.
No doubt. And Ben Fitzgerald now heading for the penalty box. And Kenton getting back to Ubi, as you're well familiar with the Jones Shield between St. Mike's and GFA in Grand Falls. This year, a new series started between Badger and the Buckens High School, and they've called it the Ubi Hollitt Shield.
And they're talking, there's talk of it, I don't know, I haven't had it confirmed whether it's going to go ahead here or not. The Blunden Shield is going to go here in Gander between the St. Paul's team and the Protestant team, Gander Collegiate. So there's still talk of that. I'm not sure if it's going to go ahead this year or next year.
Always nice to see people who put a lot into the game to get recognized for their talents.
And I tell you, Ted, when we had our Winter Carnival, the annual tradition, there's a cup being played for, and it's the St. Paul's and the Gander Collegiate team playing against each other. And we had a near-capacity crowd. We had 1,000 people to watch a high school hockey game, and that's just fantastic.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Good fan support. And of course, those are our players in years to come. Those are the players we're going to be seeing out here playing senior hockey for Gander, Badger, and Grand Falls, and so forth.
Yeah, and there's some great players out there. Gander got some great young kids coming up. I mean, Dougie Shepard's one of the fastest skaters for his age. And, you know, you're going to get the chance to see some of these young skaters play some great hockey Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock here at the Gander Gardens when they take on the Gander Co-op Bantams, take on the Murmansk All-Stars. So we're back to action, Ted, and we got a little bit of Kennedy falls down. Beyond Stroud goes after him. Kennedy goes after Stroud. Dangerous move for Roger Kennedy. Kennedy got ejected from the last game as he jumped the boards.
Well,
Stroud giving it to Kennedy. That's twice now.
That's twice. Up in this end in the first period, Stroud gave Kennedy a slash across the pads. We thought then he'd pick up a penalty, but he didn't. But this time he is. And now the Bombers will go on the power play and try and get back in this game. As the penalty box, Kenton is getting pretty full over there.
Well, Stroud finally got caught at it. He gave one earlier on, but I figured he'd get a slash in. And that time, Kennedy was down. He decided to give him a little jab on the back of the legs. Stroud will pay for it. Gander can't get caught ahead of himself here either, Ted, and start taking foolish penalties.
That's right.
You know, they only got a 2-goal lead, and we've seen Badger come back.
Exactly, and like you say, foolish penalties can upset any game for any team. As we saw that in Game 3 in Badger last weekend when the Bombers started taking foolish penalties, just running around everybody, and of course they came up at the wrong end of the score, and the Flyers went up 3-0 in games, and of course Badger had to come back in a must-win situation on Sunday in Game 4 and did so with a score of 4-1, and now they're down 3-1 in Game 5, and this is a must-win situation for the Bombers.
As we've said many times, the winner of this will play the winner of the Avalon East and Conception Bay South, which has Flatrock playing Bell Island. Pooch Cove, Andy Sullivan's team, getting knocked out. Seen on CBC the other night during the news, they showed Andy Sullivan. He was talking about the stick work that he gets in this league, and some of the stuff that wasn't called that was blatant against Andy Sullivan. You know, I wonder if the guy would ever want to come back and play hockey.
I was talking to Andy just the next day. Andy had won the St. John's Molson Athlete of the Month for the month of March, and Andy won the male category, and he was telling us that he just bruised. His whole upper body is just bruised from hooking, poking away with the stick, and it's unbelievable.
Andy came here last year, and a lot of people were a bit optimistic and, you know, a bit hesitant about bringing in a player in Gander. And he went out the first line, and they popped in a few. I believe he was playing with Jimmy Rogers at the time on the same line. An excellent first game. It didn't take long for the Gander fans to turn and love and see Andy Sullivan. And why shouldn't you when you see, you know, he's one of the best senior hockey players, if not the best senior hockey player in Newfoundland.
Oh, it's not two ways about in Kenton. He is Mr. Hockey, and he's done it all. He's the Wayne Gretzky of Newfoundland hockey. And talking about Jimmy Rogers, I'd like to say hello to Jimmy. He's an old friend of mine back from St. John's, and Jimmy was a great hockey player in his day, too.
Jimmy's still playing, give up the ice hockey to some spare time in the winter, but he still plays ball hockey in the summer, and he's still touted as being one of the best in Newfoundland in ball hockey. Went to the Nationals again this year, and he'll be putting on the sneakers and getting back to some ball hockey. A little bit out of shape. Play floor hockey with him, and he's a little bit, okay, he's a lot out of shape. But Jimmy plays a lot of heart, and he's a good thinking player, you know.
20 pounds ago. Sorry, Jimmy. 7:45 left in the second period. The Flyers lead the Bombers by a score of 3-1.
Shepard, Ricky Shepard over the blue line. He's got gas in the slot. He'll dump it back to Scotty Young with a shot. Kennedy with a save. Young keeping those shots low in case a forward in the slot can be able to deflect them up.
Paul Perry Paul ties it up along the boards. Now Greggy Byrne.
Byrne didn't like it when Goss started slapping him a little bit when he was down.
And the Flyers are on the power play.
7:23 left in the second period.
Kenton, Scotty Young not getting that hard shot from the point tonight that he's capable of. Last weekend in games 1 and 2 and also 3 in Badger, the booming shots he was letting go, but it seems he's not getting all his body into it tonight because of the injury.
He's not getting all his body, and I'm not sure which leg it is that he favors, but maybe when he leans into the shot, he just can't get it all in there. But I don't know. Either way, I think the Gander players are pretty happy to have him in his lineup, and they'll take him any way they can get him.
For sure.
They'll come back to Young. We'll get to see what he can do. He just flicks it right across to Conrad. And Mel Best, and it just goes right back at Kennedy. Great play by the defensive Badger. That would look like Rod Howell bringing it out. And he quickly alerted that puck as it went behind Kennedy and brought it out. A great play by Chris Conrad. He could have shot, but unselfish guy he is. Chance, great save by Kennedy again as Shepard brings it across. Conrad, not a selfish player, and he'll try to pass it if he can. Badger, a couple great chances for Gander. Conrad coming back for it. Chris Conrad over the red line. Nifty move as he tried to go with the puck between Jacob's legs. Conrad got no wind left in him. He's gone to the bench. And Dean Delaney will come out in place of him. It's taken away from Ricky Shepard. Loader! Low shot. Edison covers up.
And a big save by Pete Edison as he stopped Keith Loader from point-blank range. Had Keith Loader scored on that one, the Bombers would have been just out of this one by 1 goal. But Edison comes up big once again. 6:27 left in the second period. And of course, Kenton, that could have been the goal to get the Bombers all the confidence they needed to finish off this second period. They are tired now because their defenseman is logging a lot of ice time due to George Penny not playing this period. And they're already missing Robbie Penny. And Gander, 4 lines are still coming at the Bombers.
Keith Loader shaking his head. He's frustrated. He really tried to tuck that between the knees, and he just couldn't get it. Now Badger coach yelling across to the referee Oates, trying to find out who will come out. As we see an awful lot of players in the penalty box with only 2 penalties being up on the score clock.
Well, the teams will play 4-a-side now.
And that's what they're saying. They're wondering what will happen as they have so many people in the box. They'll wait for the next whistle, stoppage in play, before the players will be able to come out. Now Gander puts 1 guy in the, out on the ice, so they're now back at full strength. And Badger will be back in 3 seconds' time at full strength. Goss, quick shot, Goss puts it by Kennedy!
Well, Russ Goss picked that puck out of Perry Paul's stick just at the Badger blue line, and he skated all the way in on Kennedy, made no mistake. And the Bombers go up by 3 now with 6 minutes left in the second period, and they lead this one by a score of 4-1. As they continue to pump it up on the scoreboard.
Looked like there, Ted, looked like Russ went to take the first shot, fanned on it, and had to draw the puck back. And when he went to draw the puck back, Kennedy went out, and Russ just brought it back and put it upstairs. Russ Goss' accurate shot puts Gander up 4-1.
That goal coming at 13:49 of the second period.
Jimmy Young, Mel Best. Gander player caught outside as Shanyao. Chad Stuckless over the line. Mel Best races in for it. Junior Butt after the puck. Best plays along the side of the net. Now Badger trying to get it out in front. Jamie Norman races after it. He can't get it. Junior Butt drops it back to the point to Hayden. Hayden just puts it back into Butt. Hayden again along the boards. Now Jamie Norman. He turns around. He takes a high stick. I'm sure it was accidental by Junior Butt, but it went right up the arm and caught Jamie Norman right in the face. Or it looked like, rather, Jimmy Young.
Jimmy Young, number 4.
Jimmy Young in the face.
And it looked like an accidentally, because as he come around Young, the stick went up.
It went right off his arm as Young turned around.
Well, it looked like it was accidentally there, and
He's lying on the ice. I don't think it's too serious.
Trying to get a bit of snow so they can get some ice on it. 5:32 left in the second.
While the Flyers up by 3 big goals late in the second period. And Kenton, having seen the Avalon East League year, I never got a chance to see the CBS League. Now Jimmy Young is up on his feet, skating towards his bench. He seems to be okay. But getting back to the Avalon East League, Kenton and the CBS League, after watching them the year, my prediction in the Herder, whether it was the Bombers or the Flyers, definitely the Central League going on to the Herder again this year and winning the Herder for the second year in a row, with the Bombers winning last year and with the fast-flying team that the Gander Flyers have with 4 lines coming at you all the time. I don't think there's any way that Flatrock will win a game in this series.
Well, we see Scotty Young out there, Ted, so obviously Gander not going to sit on the lead. Scotty must be feeling well enough to play. Gander with the face-off, they lose it. Ross Kennedy turns around with it. Kennedy over to Perry Paul. Paul's bumped into by Gillingham. Todd Baldwin with the puck. Baldwin will right behind the net, and he'll set up to Scotty Young. Young back to Baldwin. Up to Mel Best. Best at the red line. Shoots it back to Scotty Young. Now they flick it in. Shania dumps it back to Mel Best in the corner. At the slot. Shania defends on it as it went right between his legs. Perfect setup in the slot, but he couldn't capitalize. Now Greg Hayden. Hayden up to Jacobs. Jacobs is stopped by Scotty Young, and he dropped him. And Scotty got a sore knee. We didn't see it there. He put Jacobs right back on his rear end. Now Gander coming out with him. Best. Back to Gillingham. Gillingham back to Best. Gillingham short side. Couldn't knock it home. In the slot, Kennedy swats at it with a stick and knocks it aside. Young pitches in. He keeps it in. Shania plays it around the boards. Gander got no one there to pick it up. They turn around, regroup again. Mel Best drops it for Deion Stroud, but Hayden falls down. Jacobs gets the puck, clears it into the Gander zone. Todd Baldwin back with it. Over to Deion Stroud. Chris Conrad. Conrad right in front. Great save by Kennedy. Privet looking in the slot. Privet would have shot Kennedy with a save. He didn't see it. And we got a penalty call.
All up, looks like the penalty is called number 5 of the Badger Bombers, Perry Paul, as he heads for the sin bin. And the Bombers can't afford to take any penalties at this period in time. 3:43 left in the second, down 3 goals, as the Flyers lead a 4-1. And
Kennedy coming out at Deion Stroud.
And they're having words most of the game, Kenton, after that slash in the first period. Now Kennedy over talking to Stroud.
Kennedy, he's going to get a penalty for that one. Let's see if he can draw some more. Conrad putting back the rest of the Gander players. Doesn't want to see anything amount to it.
While Roger Kennedy picking up a penalty for the Badger Bombers, likely 2 minutes for roughing as he takes a poke at Deion Stroud.
Down 4-1. I don't think he can afford to do that at this point in time, Ted.
And now the Bombers will be down 2, although the Flyers have 1 man in the sin bin. But the Flyers will go on the power play once again, and that's not good for the Badger Bombers, as each goal the Flyers rack up on the scoreboard now, it just puts them down further and further. And it looks like they may go to the sidelines for the rest of this 92-93 season. And I think Kenton, our cameraman, Wayne Chafe, all the way from St. John's tonight, is a little disappointed there, as he may have to ride back to St. John's tonight instead of going to Badger tomorrow.
One good thing about both teams, though, Ted, is they both got great backup goaltenders, so they got the depth. If Kennedy should happen to make the wrong move again and get thrown out of the game, at least they know they got Tony Walsh in reserves.
And certainly when you talk about backup, Jeff Kelly, just although he was on the losing end in Badger in Game 4 by a score of 4-1, Kelly came up with some tremendous saves, and he was just spectacular.
That's the first time we've seen Kenny Butt on the ice tonight, and he went as far as the penalty box. Looks like they're going to sort this one out a little bit.
3:43 left in the second.
Having a look at our trivia question again, Ted. Trivia question for tonight's game is, what's the name of the Gander Flyer hockey player who was born in Albany, New York? He told me he lived there for 6 years, and in fact he holds dual citizenship. Not too many people get to hold that. 651-2652 is the number to call. You can win yourself a gym bag, compliments of Molson's. Great cooler bag, as it would have been a great day for today if you're out in the sun, maybe out having a barbecue or out on the patio. A lot of people here tonight came from barbecues this afternoon. Shot from the point, score! Scotty Young! Right through the legs of Kennedy. Wasn't a very hard shot, Ted, but it went right through the legs of Kennedy.
And that puts the Flyers up 5-1. And they're not going to look back now as they're going to waltz to this Game 5 to win the Central Beothuck League Hockey Championship. And it's a big comeback for the Bombers right now with only 3:39 left in the second. And it's an uphill battle for the Badger Bombers as Scotty Young let a shot go from just inside the blue line that got past Roger Kennedy. And that goal with 3:39 left in the period and coming at 16-21.
Gander can hold on, Ted. What a championship this will be for the Gander fans. Scotty Young. He gets it up to Shepard. Gander playing a lot more patient game. Back to Young. Young walks in. Shoots! Oh, goes wide. He had that top-hand corner all lined up. Young again. On the ice. Oh, and a great chance by Deanne Stroud as it went across the slot. And in front, Gander. Stroud. Gets it back to Shepard. Around the boards. Young turns around. Into the corner to Shepard. Comes right up front. At to Young. Young tees up. Kennedy with a save. Back in the slot. Gass with a shot. Low on the ice. Gander can't capitalize on that one. Gets back out. The line will have to come out as Scotty Young will stand at the line. Gass with a shot. Goes off a backup. Bobby Bogdan. Oh, that had to hurt.
That had to hurt. Kenton. That got him right in the back of the leg, and he went down.
Looks like the same leg he was favoring early on, and that could be the night for Bobby Bogdan.
With already their defense core, George Penny gone, Robbie Penny gone, Bobby Bogdan logging loads of ice time tonight. He's got to be a tired hockey player. And he's down on the ice now, and he can't afford to lose anymore. They're already down 5-1. 2:34 left in the second. The Flyers up by 4 big goals as they lead the Bombers now by a score of 5-1. And it looks like they could be on their way to the Central Beothuck League Championship. .234 left in the second period. As we mentioned, 5-1 for the Flyers. And they'll line up for the face-off to the left of Roger Kennedy.
You'll see Gander play a lot more wide-open offensive game now. You're going to see, when you're going to see Chris Conrad, you're going to see those wide-open passes. They're going to let loose a little bit here now. Ty Baldwin. Baldwin tees up. Tries to go through the slot, and it goes right through. No one could get his piece of it. Delaney turns around to Briffett. Briffett walks right around, tries to stuff it home. Kennedy with the save, and he'll cover it up.
While again, they're hockey fans excited here tonight as their Flyers lead by a big score of 5-1. Dion Stroud and Mike Griffin having good games tonight, doing a lot of excellent spade work in the corners, coming up with that puck in front for that big number 16, Chris Conrad. And it looks like they could be on their way to the Central Beothuck League Hockey Championships, and we'll be a part of it. If that's the case, we'll be right in the middle of the celebrations, right down in the dressing room.
Ted, you're going in that dressing room tonight. I hope you brought a shower cap with you.
Well, I have my baseball cap on. I'm not sure I can borrow a towel somewhere. I was going to take one, actually, but I just forgot it.
I don't know if I'll even venture down that end of the stadium after. 2:09 left in the second.
Well, I am glad I have a driver driving back to St. John's tonight and not me. 2:09 left in the second. They'll line up for the face-off to the left of Roger Kennedy.
Comes back. Young right into the slide. Up to Conrad. He'll drop it back. Shepard. He'll try to take a shot. Loader will stop it. Badger. They'll bring it back out. Armstrong just tries to knock it out all the way down, but he gets stopped by Baldwin. Gander at the line. Shepard. Shoots. Kennedy with a save. Kennedy will turn around in his own cause and flick it out. Scotty Young. Perry Paul coming out of the box. Almost swooped it away. Rod Hell. Hell drops it back to Armstrong. Armstrong shoots it in. Back for it is Baldwin. We'll get a whistle. Well,
probably a two-line offside as Billy Armstrong let the puck go from outside the center line. 1:27 left in this Game 5 in the second period in the final of the Central Beothuck Hockey League. And the Gander Flyers lead by 4 big goals as they lead the Badger Bombers by a score of 5-1.
Face-off now will be just to the left of Kennedy. The shot goes wide. Backhander from Gillingham. Badger look to get it out. Comes all the way back into Gander's zone. Jimmy Young turns around. Young plays it off the boards. Over to Bruno Chagnon. It's kept in. Finally get it out. Fitzgerald flicks it in from the red line. He'll race after it. Kennedy comes out to play it. Kennedy almost loses it. He gets a little bit of a poke check from Gillingham. Now, Jamie Norman waits for the players to come back onside before he shoots it in. Barry Paul turned around with it, trying to make the play to Hubie Hollett. Hollett couldn't play it in the skates.
And the Bombers will be called for icing once again. 44 seconds left in the second period. As the Flyers lead by 5-1. And as you mentioned, Kenton, probably in this third period, they're going to see it open up.
I think what you're going to see exactly, Ted, in this third period, Coach Goss is going to go in the dressing room and say, listen, play a defensive game, but when you can make that break, go for it. Gander with the puck into the Badger zone. Pass out through the slot. Jason Boyd couldn't pick it up. Now it's Badger coming back with it. Keith Loader, he falls. He takes a slash. Looks like it was close to being a dive. I'm not sure, but maybe that stick did hurt.
While the play is blowing down, as referee Oates checks on number 44, Keith Loader.
I don't think he got a stick in the face or anything. I think he just got it on the forearms. Trainer comes out now. He says something to Oates.
With no penalty call on the play, Kenton. I think it might have been a little bit of a dive also. While Loader favoring his right leg. Number 44, one of the top players for the Badger Bombers this season and the past few seasons, as we have 25 seconds left in the second period. Flyers lead it by 5-1.
Goss and Kennedy face off. Goss gets the face off, gets it back to Scotty Young. Young will flick it in on the board. Badger, Armstrong turns around, gives it to Harry Foley. Foley turns around, shoots, and the big guy is there. Couldn't get it around him. Jason Boyd just runs into Armstrong. And that was a big hit.
Jason Boyd and Billy Armstrong.
13 seconds now left in the period. They'll get Scotty Young out for a break. Jamie Norman will come out for him. 13 seconds left in the second period. Hayden will dump it in. 8 seconds. Edison will just play it. Norman will turn around. Gander will probably just try to clear it out. Dickey does. 1 second. That's all they wrote for the second period.
Well, after 40 minutes of play, it's the Gander Flyers 5 and the Badger Bombers 1. Early in the second period, Chris Conrad put the Flyers up by 1 goal as they went ahead 2-1. Then at 9:26, again it was Chris Conrad. Then at 13:49, Russ Goss, and completing the scoring in that second period at 16:21, big number 19, the anchorman on that defense, Scotty Young. After 40 minutes of play, the Gander Flyers 5 and the Badger Bombers 1.
Stay tuned, folks. We've got one more period of hockey left to play. Can the Flyers hold on, or will the Bombers come back? We won't know, but stay tuned. We'll be back for you with more hockey in just a moment's time.
If here is where you do your best thinking, try asking yourself these questions. Am I giving as much as I can give to causes I believe in? Am I doing all I can to help? Could I be doing more?
You're watching Cable Atlantic Cable 9, your community channel.
Well, the Gander Flyers have returned to the ice for the start of the third period, but the Bombers have yet to skate onto the ice. And now the Bombers return, led by Roger Kennedy. The Flyers lead this one by a score of 5-1. And Chris Conrad with 2 big goals, Kenton in the second period. The first one coming at 1:36. And then at 8:26, again, Conrad, and some great spade work down there at Kenton by Mike Griffin and Dion Stroud.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for the Subway player of the game. It's right now you're looking at, well, Dion Stroud for one had 3 assists, but you got to look at Chris Conrad for his leading the team offensively tonight, and you got to look at Pete Edison's some big saves coming from Pete tonight.
All the Bombers had 14 shots in the first period, and about at least 11 or 12 of those shots were really dangerous shots from point blank, and Edison came up big time after time. Also rounding out the scoring in that second period, Russ Goss at 13:49, and then big Scotty Young, the big anchor man on defense for the Flyers at 16:21. Put the Flyers up 5-1 in this Game 5 of the Central Beothuck Hockey League between the Badger Bombers and the Gander Flyers. Of course, with the Flyers winning, they'll go on to all Newfoundland Championships, Herder Memorial Trophy, and the Bombers will say goodbye for the rest of the 92-93 season. A good year for the Bombers. Was a great series, Kenton, and both teams just putting on a great display of exciting hockey for both the Badger and the Gander fans.
Ted, if you were coach of the Badger team, what would you told your team, or what do you think they've told the team during that period?
Well, the first thing they had to come out with, they had to pop one early just to get back into the game. That would give them a lot of confidence. And I would say, secondly, to stay away from the penalties.
Well, Gander get the face-off. Now they got the puck. Chad Stuckless turns around with it. Now Gander bringing it up. It's Ricky Shepard along the side. Shepard looking for some of the side. Quick shot. Goes wide. Baldwin plays it around the boards. Shepard gets it in between his feet. Barry Paul ties up Shepard while Chad Stuckless comes back, takes the puck. He's bringing it out. He's over the blue line. Gander will turn around. Goss turns it to dump it. Meanwhile, Ricky Shepard picks it up. He just shoots it back in. Gander will change. So Gander gets some fresh legs, doing some quick change-ups. Chad Stuckless. Shot. Edison with a glove save. He'll just hold on to it.
Well, Pete Edison will hold on to anything now just to keep the the Flyers from getting back in this game as they lead Gander lead by 4 goals, and it's an uphill battle for the Bombers right now, Kenton, and 19 minutes left in the period, but then again, it's not over until it's over.
Face-off just to the left of Pete Edison. Kennedy and Russ Goss will face off against each other. And finally dropped the puck. Briffett races in, takes it. We got Deion Stroud coming up against Armstrong. Stroud over to Briffett. Briffett's tied up. Briffett shoots. Gets a piece of it and it goes wide. Great try for Dennis Briffett. Russ Kennedy. He falls. Mel Best never put any pressure on him. Great play by Armstrong. He intercepts that pass as it going across the slot. Now Scotty Young plays it to Briffett. Briffett just flicks it back in. Armstrong will pick it up. Armstrong. He's manhandled by Mel Best. He falls down. In with the puck now is Gander. Dennis Briffett all over in front. Great save by Roger Kennedy. Got the arm out and held it on the ice, and Briffett couldn't slip it under him. Now Keith Loader. Briffett, he'll race on. A little tired there now, so we got Greggy Hayden. The puck for Badger. Perry Paul steps up, pinches in, takes the puck. Gets a shot, and it's deflected straight up. And hits the turf.
Dennis Briffett had a great chance as he skated in all alone on Roger Kennedy. He had him fake to one side, but Roger made that move at the last second to foil Briffett and stop the Flyers from going up by a score of 6-1.
Got a Gander player leaving there. Looked like he took a high stick. I'm not sure who it was. Meanwhile, we'll see Terry Oak, one of the trainers. He'll slide off the ice there. He'll go attend to the Gander player.
All the Bombers certainly in the must-win situation now. Every goal the Flyers score, the Bombers just dig themselves deeper, a bigger hole. As it is right now, they're down by 4.
Badger with the puck. Shot. It fans on it. Hal fans on it. Just goes in. Kevin Dickey turns around with it. To get a whistle. Came out over the line. And an offside call will be called.
18:06 left in this game 5. And an important one for the Bombers as the Flyers could advance to the Herder Memorial Championships.
Big note there for these fans here in Gander and in Badger area. The finals, the Herder finals, are a best 3 of 5 series, not a best 4 of 7. And meanwhile, that could be another, well, probably be a week before that one will resume. Maybe next weekend if we're lucky, but I don't think it will happen. It'll be a week after that. Gander with the puck. We're going to get a penalty called on Jacobs.
Looks like an interference call. Kenton, as Jacobs heads to the sin bin, and they just can't afford to take any penalties at this time.
Well, Badger just digging the hole deeper and deeper.
And the Gander fans excited as they'll go and watch their Gander Flyers as in days gone by, in the old days of Jack Laird, Harry Katrinoff, Bill Lastic, J.C. Garneau.
Scotty Young over to Baldwin. Baldwin couldn't control it. Baldwin plays it off the glass. Jason Boyd's tied up. Now he gets loose. He's for Goss. Goss back to Scotty Young. Ross getting a big piece of it again. Now Jason Boyd walks out with it. Shoots, goes wide. He was looking for the top-hand corner. Baldwin plays it around the boards. Goss will race in after. Armstrong. Scotty Young not happy when he gave away that puck. Now Pete Edison will play it around the boards. Edison playing a great stand-up hockey tonight, only letting in 1 goal. Leading the Flyers along. Goss. Goss tied up. Quick flick of the puck over the shoulder of Kennedy and off the glass. Badger can't clear it out. Now they get a hold of it. Armstrong. Badger playing real sloppy hockey here. They finally clear it down. Edison comes out. Makes a little kick move with the stick. Scotty Young picks it up at center ice. Young will shoot it in. Delaney. He'll wait for it. A lot slower hockey going on here now, Ted. Everything seems to slow right down.
Well, all the Bombers are killing off a penalty here. And, of course, they're shooting at the length of the ice every chance they can get. as the Flyers have the power play on.
Dickey steps in with the puck. Leaves it for Shepard. Jamie Norman, he'll race into it. Right back around, goes over the stick of Shepard. Delaney. That goes back into the Gander zone. Deion Stroud with the puck. Stroud to Delaney. Two-line pass. That'll go back.
Ball 15:56 left in the third period. And the Flyers up by 4 big ones. And it looks like Kenton that right now, that announcement I made about the tickets going on sale at the Badger Stadium tomorrow at 12 o'clock, I just canceled it.
And I'd say the party has began in the orange section tonight. It'll be a race to get downtown and get in the club tonight because it will be packed with a lot of partying people. The Gander Flyers going to the Herder, first time in, what, 12 years now? 13 years?
79-80 was the last time, Kenton. And it will be their third, going into the third one.
They fall down, dangerous situation. Chagnon with the puck. Out into the slot, Killingham was tied up. Greggy Byrne gets it up to Huey Hollett. Hollett just dumps it in. Nice and call.
15:28. The Gander Flyers just 15 minutes and 28 seconds away from the Central Beothuck League Hockey Championship. Just last year, I think Gander lost in the first round of the playoffs, but they're a completely different team this year. The first time I saw them was Game 1, and they really impressed me with their fast skating, and they're a fast-flying team.
Gander's got one of the most committed teams over the last 3 years. This has got to be the most committed team. They're showing up for practice. They're working. Here we go! A save, Edison! Gets back and gets the stick down. Oh, what a save by Pete Edison coming back in that one. Ted Gander got a great work ethic team. They're all into it. As the season was going early on, they were out, they were running, and in between series, you can see the guys out running at nighttime, keeping in shape, keeping up for it. And they're ready for this series.
4 well-balanced lines, and it's easy to see.
And this may be the very well of last year that Brent Jenkins will play senior hockey, and he wants to go out on a winning note. Though he's not in tonight's game, he's a member of the Flyers, and he'll be celebrating along with them and looking forward to playing in the Herder.
Well, I'm sure he's disappointed that he's not in tonight's game.
Puck cleared in. Edison will have to come out and make a stick save with it. Scotty Young turning around. Young up to Briffett. Briffett over to Conrad. Conrad deflects it in. Conrad being hooked on the way in. Back to Deion Stroud. Quick shot. Saved by Kennedy, and he'll hold on to it. They're trying to beat Kennedy on the short side on the way in, hoping that he'll fall, Ted, and he's just standing his ground. If he went down, there's maybe a chance the puck would squeeze by, but you think they would realize that with Kennedy, experienced goalie, he's just not going to fall. He's going to stand his ground. Face off to the left of Kennedy. Gander will change up. Let Scotty Young get another break. Conrad, he's tied up. Greg Hayden will go around the net with the puck. Hayden tries to make a pass, does successfully. He was trying to hit Byrne, but meanwhile Stuckless picked it up. Edison will cover it up. And Murray, dangerous play there. Brian Murray threw the Gander player at Pete Edison, and Ty Baldwin went right into the Gander net.
Now Billy Armstrong and Deion Stroud having words.
14-10 left in the third period.
5-1 for the Gander Flyers as they're on their way to the Central Beothuck Hockey League Championship. And the fans are just waiting to explode, Kenton.
Seem to have quieted down a little bit. They're just getting themselves in a relaxed mood as they get ready to head downtown to throw a big party.
All Gander won their first Herder in 68-69. And then their second one in 79 and 80. I'm sure the fans are just waiting for the third one as they can hang the banner proudly from the rafters here at Gander Gardens.
Puck comes back. Armstrong with a shot. Edison has to make a blocker save to deflect it up. Armstrong might have had a chance for that top-hand corner. Edison got the blocker up, deflected it up and over.
14 minutes left in Game 5. Flyers lead at 5-1. As the Bombers try to get back into the game, at least to get a goal, to give them a lift. George Penny still has not seen any shift in this period, as he did not see any in the second, and it's safe to say that he's gone from the game.
Yeah, and Stroud bringing the puck. Griffith was pulled down. I want to remind you all, Monday afternoon, some great hockey. Conrad brings it out. It's stripped from him. Now it's Kennedy. Some great hockey Monday afternoon here at the Gander Gardens. It will be the Murmansk All-Stars playing the Gander Co-op Bantams. You want to see some great hockey? We're going to have some time off in between series now. Check this hockey out Monday afternoon, game time 4 o'clock. You can get your tickets here at the door or from any member of the Co-op Bantam Flyers hockey organization. Jacobs with the puck, in over the line. Puck.
Well, Davy Jacobs taken hard into the boards by Scotty Young. Number 19, Jacobs getting up now. He's probably just dazed there from the hit he took from Scotty Young. Bob Howell calling for a towel, so it looks like Jacobs may be cut.
Fans are all yelling to Kennedy now, saying it's all over. Kenny agreeing, shaking his head. Not sure if Jacobs may have turned the wrong way when he went into the boards. He was shook up. 13:22 left in the third. Final look at our trivia question for the evening. What's the name of the Gander Flyer hockey player who was born in Albany, New York? Yes, we got a New Yorker playing here. He holds dual citizenship. You know the answer to that. Call 651-2652. Win yourself a cooler bag, compliments of Molson's. Jim Rogers, our representative. Want to thank Jimmy throughout the season for giving us prizes to award in our trivia question.
13:22 left in game 5. As the Flyers head to their Central Beothuck League Hockey Championship.
Ganders all but wrapped it up and sent it home. Baldwin keeps it in. Goss after it. Goss taken into the boards. Perry Paul. They'll just freeze it up.
13:02. And should the Bombers come back and tie this or win it, game 6 at the Badger Stadium tomorrow. Up with 13:02 left in the game, down 4 goals. And Gander playing a good defensive style of hockey, Kenton, and I think sure that's the way that Jeff Goss wants him to play right now.
Jeff Goss had a thing about 30 shots or 3 goals, or 40 shots or 4 goals, all throughout the season. And that was their motto they worked by and played a defensive hockey game. Score! Tap back for Jamie Norman! Put it home! This one's in the bag! Kennedy almost gave up. He just threw up the flag that says, I surrender.
Wow, 6-1. Number 10, Jamie Norman, has just scored for the Flyers with 7:03 left in the game. And the Flyers lead it by a score of 6-1. And like Kenton said, this one is put all in the bag.
You know, the Pepsis and the champagne are on ice in the Flyers dressing room now. We're just waiting for the clock to roll down. Scotty Young. Hubie Hollett. Hollett over the line. Hubie's not going to give up on it yet. It's not over till the clock goes. 12:43, and that one just over the boards. Roger Kennedy looking a little dejected there in his net now. Looking a little bit down on himself, Ted.
Well, Roger, the competitor that he is, and I thought sure, Kenton, that after the Flyers went up by 3 goals tonight, that Coach Gary Shepard was going to put Tony Walsh in the nets, but we failed to see that, and I don't know, it's 6-1 now, and it's a bit late for anything right now.
I think if Kennedy had taken another penalty or something like that, he would have definitely pulled him. Barry Hammond. Hammond taken hard into the boards by Russ Kennedy. Hammond Gander looking every time the player goes to go by him, tying them up. Habit goes back to Billy Armstrong. Puck goes into Gander end. Scotty Young turns around with the puck. Gets it over to Kevin Dickey. Dickey over the line, shoots it in. Mel Best racing for it. Kennedy comes out, and he'll flick it all the way down to the Gander end. They're going to call an icing. They hopped over Young. Greg Hayden arguing with the linesman, saying, hey, it could have been played. 11:55. Things starting to slow down a little bit here now, Ted. We had a very fast-paced game going along, and things are slowing right down.
All with the Bombers down by 5 goals, and they look a little tired right now. And 5 goals is it's an uphill battle right now for the Bombers, although they'll play right to the last end.
Puck squeezes loose. Gillingham, and a quick shot by Fitzgerald. Kennedy makes a save. Gander will throw back in. And we're going to have a penalty called against Bill Armstrong.
Well, don't go away, folks. We'll be right with you at the end of this game, and we'll be right in the middle of the celebrations, right in the Gander dressing room, and we'll bring you in-depth interviews with some of the top players on the team, as well as some of the lesser lights who's come up with some big games in this series, like Dennis Griffith and fellows like Dion Stroud, Kenton.
Ted, I got a question for you now. I'm not sure what will happen, but if it gets underneath the 10-minute mark and we happen to have an altercation where a player gets thrown out, is he gone for the next game?
If there is a next game, yes.
Yeah, but in the next series, if a Gander player gets thrown out, will he be thrown out for
in the next series, Kenton, this rule does not apply in hurdle play because it's played under NAHA rules and not the Central Beothuck rules.
So we're going to see a little bit of a difference now in the rules as we go into the hurdle.
Like last year, I remember when the Bombers went in against in Flatrock, and this rule was mentioned before the game, and the Flatrock players were very, very surprised that there was such a rule in the Central League. And I myself, personally, I expressed it a few times. I don't think the rule should be there either.
Now, it takes away from hockey. You're going to see a lot. You wouldn't maybe not as see as an exciting last 10 minutes of a game as you would normally. Because they're holding back, afraid to get in a fight, afraid to get out of the next game. Conrad, he's being hooked, he's being stuck. Hal was trying to reel in a salmon, and he was taking Conrad as bait. Chris Conrad, he was hooked right to death.
All the Flyers on the power play now, Kenton.
Scotty Young falls to the ice. He's got into the boards.
All that was behind the play. We never saw what happened there, Kenton, but Scotty, who was playing injured all the game, probably the heart and soul of this team, is now lying on the ice. We just hope it's nothing too serious.
Looked like when the two players collided, he went into the board. He's hurt pretty bad.
Kenton, getting back to this rule in the last 10 minutes of a game, where if you pick up a major infraction, you're gone for the rest of that game plus the next game. And as you mentioned, nobody would like to get into it, but there is a case where you got utility players, doesn't get a shift the game, he goes out in the last 10 minutes, probably takes a top player out of the game, and for the next one. So what's the benefit of the rule? It's just...
Yeah, and exactly, and that's what happens. And sometimes, you know, they say fighting's bad hockey, but I don't think it at all. I think fighting is hockey.
Nobody's going to get hurt in the fight. You might get a little bruise or a little cut or a black eye, but you will pick up a bigger injury with a high sticking penalty or the use of a stick rather than just a fisticuff.
And you know, another thing too, Ted, is a penalty in the last 10 minutes. Okay, say one of your players gets in a fight, you're down by a goal or two, it could spur your team on. It could lead your team on. If someone like Huey Hollow went out there and got into a fight for Badger, you couldn't tell me that it wouldn't spur his team on because the guy got so much hurt. And that takes away from the game as well, right?
It does. 10:58 left in the third period. The Flyers lead it by a score of 6-1 as they're on their way to the Central Beothuck Hockey League Championship.
Griffith over for Conrad with a shot! And a save by Kennedy. Conrad one times it. Conrad just one goal away from the hat trick. They'll probably try to feed it to him as often as they can. Deflection from Edison up onto the glass. Griffith plays it off to Mel Best. Greg Byrne turns around with the puck. He tries to go out with it. Dickey. Goss, he can't control it. Now he gets it back. He'll just dump it into the Badger zone. Kennedy. Over to Hayden. Hayden back to Kennedy. Badger just content to let the clock roll down. Baldwin will turn around with the puck. Dean Delaney. Delaney. Shepard stretching for it. Couldn't get it. Goss dumps it back. Perry Paul turns around, clears it all the way down into the Gander end. And we'll get an icing call.
All the Bombers will be called for icing. 9 minutes, 40 seconds left in this third game. And the only scoring coming in this period thus far was Russ Norman at 7:06 to put the Flyers up by a score of 6-1.
Yeah, look at Davey Jacobs, got a Band-Aid over his eye as well as a shiner working there. Goss gets it back. Jimmy Young shoots. Goss tries to deflect it in front and it goes wide. Shepard. Shepard walks out. Shepard winds up. Shoots, goes wide. Delaney tries to dump it back in. Delaney still with the puck. Jacobs. Delaney takes it away from Jacobs. Kennedy comes out. Shoots it off the glass. Todd Baldwin keeps it in. Shepard. He'll be hauled after him. Shepard evades him. Delaney getting a bit of work from Hayden. Now Russ Goss. He's taken into the boards by Hubie Hollop, but keeps the puck in control. Shoots it around, goes off the referee, Oates. Goss with the puck. Badger can't get it out. Bill Armstrong, now they do. Hubie Hollop. Young turns around, shoots it back in. Back for is Bill Armstrong. Armstrong trying to bring it out, gets by Mel Best. Now Kevin Dickey picks it up at center ice, just shoots it in. Jacobs turns it around, gets it back to Armstrong. Greg Hayden. Hayden in over the blue line with the puck. Dickey turns around, slaps it on the boards. Mel Best backhands it. Jason Boyd picks it up. Boyd's tied up by Armstrong. Now he's taken into the boards. Hayden turns around the puck. Gander. Hammond trying to get it to a man in the slot. No one there to pick it up in the high slot. Now Badger with the puck. Billy Armstrong shoots it out. Mel Best plays it. Jason Boyd. Boyd back to Hammer. What a shot! And what a leg save by Kennedy. A couple of chances there. Gander could have pulled right away, but Kennedy keeping them in a little bit more in the hunt. A shot. Edison with a save. I don't know how he's seen that one, Ted.
A hard shot by Chad Stuckler from just outside the blue line.
You get a man the size of Kevin Dickey in front of you. It's pretty hard to see the puck. Mel Best in over the line. Gillingham was caught up. Got an offside call.
7:32 left in the third period in this Game 5 of the Central Beothuck Hockey League, and it looks like the Gander Flyers are on their way to a championship. 6-1 for the Flyers. And don't go away. We'll be right down in the middle of the dressing room for the big celebrations, and we'll talk to some of the players on their big win.
Perry Paul, the puck for Badger. He loses it. Ben Fitzgerald winds up Kennedy with a save. Badger really missing the great defense of Rob Penny tonight. It's showing. Fitzgerald with the puck. Fitzgerald gets it up to Shania. Hubie Hollett. He's got Loader with him. Hubie drops it back to Jacobs, keeps it in. Shot. Edison with the save. Now it's Gillingham behind the net. Gillingham. Fitzgerald picks it up along the board. Perry Paul, center ice, flicks it in off the board. Back for it is Baldwin. Todd Baldwin still with the puck. Jimmy Young will take it. He's tied up. Chris Conrad stepping in to take the puck. Conrad looking to make the play to Griffith. Griffith was tied up at the line. Griffith, right in the middle. What a bad hop off the board. Now it's Stroud. Deion Stroud. Conrad racing in through the slot. Dickey with a shot. Save Kennedy. What a great play by Rod Howell. Howell turned around before Griffith could get another shot away and poke check the puck away. Racing in is Conrad. Conrad turns around. Jacobs ties him up. Puck is loose. Griffith tries to wrap around, loses control, goes through the slot. Now Conrad behind the net. Conrad in front. Stroud with a quick shot that goes high. Conrad taking his time. He's working along the boards. In front to Griffith. Now Stroud. And we got a whistle.
Chris Conrad down to the side of the Bombers' net.
Conrad having a chat with the Badger player.
Perry Paul, number 5.
Jacobs is in pain. He hurt his knee. Davy Jacobs is in front in the corner. Maybe that's why it was called.
Well, Davy got caught up in a big pile up there on the end boards as a couple of players came in. And
fans showing their support. Scotty Young is back. The heart and soul of the Flyers is back on the ice.
And getting a rousing ovation. A standing ovation for Scotty Young.
I don't think Scotty would want to miss the party afterwards anyway.
As trainer, Harv Day attends to number 10, Davy Jacobs, and he's favoring that right knee. 5:42 left in the game, and Jacobs will skate to the Bombers bench.
Ted, I think at this point in the game, I think it's pretty clear who we're going to pick for the Subway Player of the game. I think it's Pete Edison.
I would have to go along with you 100%, Kenton. Pete Edison, especially the first period when the Bombers had 14 shots. About 12 shots were dangerous from point-blank range, and Edison came up out of that first period, allowing just 1 goal. And no doubt, the Subway Player of the game, Pete Edison.
Edison led the Flyers throughout the season with the best goaltending average of 2.94 goals against. Gander owes a lot to Pete Edison. And Pete is going to love this night, I guarantee you. He's been playing a lot of years of hockey, and senior hockey, and he's going to be one of the happiest players in that dressing room tonight. Congratulations, Pete, the Subway Player of the game.
Well, Kenton, certainly the Badger Bombers got nothing to be ashamed of this season, as they play with a lot of heart in this whole series, and they knew they were coming up against a fast-flying team like the Gander Flyers, but right down to the wire, we'll give it to the Badger Bombers a lot of praise.
Bombers had a hard series before playing LaCie. And LaCie are, you know, not a blowover team, they're a rough hockey team. And Badger stuck to their guns and played a great series and won it. And, you know, no fault of Badger with it. They may lose this game. They're a great hockey club. We're happy to see them in the league the year. Saved by Edison, he'll cover up.
Now Ubi Hollett and Russ Goss is in there for the Flyers, as well as Todd Baldwin. 5:09 left in the game. As Ubi Hollett, probably playing these last year, Kenton, and like we mentioned earlier, I think probably Ubi will hang up the skates this year, but you will always see the face of Ubi Hollett around Badger and the Central Hockey League as long as there's hockey played.
Gander's going to get a penalty on it. Jimmy Young. Greg Byrne, he wants to have a piece of Russ Goss. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit missed, you know, when Hubie's gone. When Badger comes in, everyone likes to heckle, you know, Roger Kennedy, but they have fun when they heckle Hubie Hollett. Because Hubie can take it and he'll give it right back, and he'll show that big smile and the big gaping between the two front teeth there. And then, you know, it's something that will be missed when Hubie does hang her up.
Yeah, and it looks like also this year, Kenton, number 14, George Penny, the big Bomber defenseman, I think is going to hang him up also. He was going to hang him up last year. They talked him out of retirement. But I think this is George's last season also with the Bombers. So they're going to have to start rebuilding again. And they have young players like Billy Armstrong, Ronnie and Kenny Butt. And it'll take a couple of years, but you'll see the Bombers back in for the competition for the Central League and probably the Herd in a couple of years to come.
This league is a young man's league, too. You know, you look at the average age on the Gander bench, for example, it's probably about maybe 25, 27 years old, if that. A lot of young players, as well as some veterans to guide them along, and it's going to be a big year for the Flyers. They dump. No doubt Gander will stick to the same strategy when they go to the herder, the dump and run hockey. Gander just wasting the clock down. Norman, he'll shoot it in. Keith Loader now. 4:37 left in the third period. Stay tuned after the game. Ted Patey will be down in the dressing room, complete with his shower cap and all. Armstrong. Jamie Norman shoots it in. Jason Boyd races after. Almost takes it away from Hayden. Greg Hayden picks it up out of his feet. Shania. Shania, he'll try to clear it in. Billy Armstrong will play it. Now Keith Loader. Nifty move on Shania. Loader over the line. He'll turn around again. Out to the slot. Hayden with a shot. They try to deflect it. What a save by Edison. Loader turns around. He fans on it, falls to the ice.
Keith Loader's a tired hockey player out there, Kenton.
And Gander's kept him and Russ Kennedy off the scoreboard, and that's what they got to do. Edison with a save from Kenya turning around. 3:25 left. The party is ready to begin. Kennedy. This will be much like the fourth game. We'll see Kennedy just try to shoot it back and forth. He blew that one. Gillingham. He was looking for Fitzgerald in the slot. He couldn't pick it up. The puck almost goes into Gander bench. Gillingham turns around, knocks it back down. Icing is called.
While 2:58 left in the game. Takes the Badger Bombers 1, Kenton. And I'm going to start to head down to the Gander dressing room, because if I don't leave now with the crowd, I may not get down there. So 3 minutes left. The Gander Flyers 6 and the Badger Bombers 1. And we'll join you after the dressing room.
Okay, Ted, we'll see you down in the dressing room. The Gander Gardens just announcing their player of the game, and that goes to Pete Edison. And they're all cheering for Pete. Peter, we're hearing 2:58. It's all but over. Badgers got their suitcases packed, didn't even get a chance to unpack them and stay a night in a hotel. They're going to be back on the bus on their way to Badger. Meanwhile, the Flyers will rest a little bit, get ready for the herder. And there will be a lot of hangovers tomorrow. Jason Boyd turns around. Sheffer with a shot for the point. It goes wide. 2:33 to the party begins in the dressing room. Mel Best turns around. Best was hit by Junior Butt. Ty Baldwin turns around, shoots it back in. Perry Paul with the puck. Baldwin gets it up to Gillingham. Gillingham makes a nice move to evade a hip check from Perry Paul. The puck's just flipped into the second row, right here to the left of our broadcast location. 2:09. Stay tuned after the game. Ted Patey will be down in the dressing room with all the coverage and all the action, with interviews and more. 2:09 left in the third. They're all standing up on the Gander bench. Face off. Kennedy gets it. They're starting to sing na-na-na-na. 2:05 left in the third. Face off to the left of Roger Kennedy. Fitzgerald, Kennedy face off. Shot to point. Jimmy Young tries to shoot it and it's deflected. Now Russ Kennedy over the blue line. Looking for Keith Loader. 2 men on Loader and he deflects it. Edison has to make a little bit of a save as it goes wide. Pete Edison keeping Gander in there to only 1 goal for the Bombers. Great game by Pete Edison. Great game by Chris Conrad. Great game by DeAstra. Great game by the whole Gander Flyer team. 1:47 left in the third. We're going to face off just to the left of Edison. Badger will change up. Everything's at a little standstill here. Things are fairly quiet in the Gardens. Gander, first time they won the Central Newfoundland senior hockey title. And they will go to the Herder. Haven't been to the Herder since 79-80, when the last time they won it. Puck behind the net. Talking about holding seats for the Herder. We're already going to go on sale next week. Contact the Gardens for more details on that. The dates haven't been announced. Chad Edison, what a save! Oh my, Pete Edison, what a show he's putting on. He just robs the Badger player. 1:19 now, left in the third. Edison showing why he's the Subway player of the game. .119 left in the third. Gander 6. Badger a lonely 1. They're getting ready to play. We are the champions. And the referee tells them, not yet. Gander going to take this series 4 games to 1. Gander, bring it in. Hammond throws it in. Kennedy will come in to play it. Kennedy almost loses it. Chad Stuckless. Todd Baldwin. To Jason Boyd. The rookie Boyd. The fans are starting to cheer on. Less than a minute to play. Dickey. Over to Baldwin. Baldwin looks. Gets it to Bell-Best. Barry Hammond. Over to Best. Best has knocked out the puck. 34 seconds. Billy Armstrong turns around for Badger. Gets it to Jacobs. Billy Armstrong just dumps Bell-Best. 27 seconds to go. Baldwin. He'll flick it up. Billy Armstrong will take the puck. He'll flick it back to Baldwin. Gets by. Edison will come out and play it. 16 seconds left. The fans are standing. Gander's going to take the Central Newfoundland senior hockey title. 4 games to 1. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. It's all over. The Flyers are out there. They're happy. Meanwhile, at the other end, the players are coming back to say thank you to Roger Kennedy. Will this be the last year we see Hubie Holland? Would this be the last year we see Roger Kennedy out here? A valiant effort by the Badger Bombers, but it was not meant to be so this year, as the Gander Flyers will now go for the Herder. We are the champions, now being played on the PA system here at the Gardens. No one is leaving. They're all here. They're all standing up. And we see the Badger team come over and shake hands. What a job Jeff Goss has done. You can't underestimate the job Jeff Goss has done this season. Now these Gander Flyers players, first time they ever get to go to the Herder. They'll shake hands. He's going to take in some of this action. Stay tuned, don't leave. Right after the game, we're going to go to Ted Patey. Ted's going to be down in the dressing room. Interviews and more. I'm going to go shed some of my clothing and make sure it doesn't all get beer soaked when we go to the dressing room afterwards. 6-1 the Flyers. Big victory. Big series. Now we're going to the Herder. We're just waiting now. They're going to have some award presentations. See the press come out. Edison now getting to shake some of the Badger Bombers' hands. The Flyers getting a standing ovation. Not a person sitting down here in the Gardens. Long awaited. Long awaited. We wanted it last year. We lost it the year before to the Bishop Falls Express, but it's never been sweeter than what it has this year. A commanding win, commanding 6-1 win over the Bombers. All we're waiting for now is the presentation of the cup. Ralph Foster's on hand tonight, the president of the league. He'll make the presentation. And Scotty Young, what can we say? He came back. The man suffered an injury last week, was on crutches all week, and he played the final game here tonight. Ralph Foster now going to have a few words.
Thank you. On behalf of the league, I'd like to be able to say thanks to the Badger Bombers. They put up a good fight.
Ralph Foster congratulating the Badger Bombers in their quest, in their fight.
And I would like to congratulate the Gander Flyers and hope they
Congratulating the Flyers, Ralph Foster, hoping that they will go home with a herder before it's all over. We're going to play hockey to the end of April, maybe even the 1st of May. Scotty Young. How sweet it is when the big guy can come out, come back, play the third period. There we go, the big guy. Scotty Young will lead the team in a skate. The Badgers go home. They'll do a victory skate around the rink. Stay tuned. Right after the skate, we're going to go down to the dressing room with Ted Patey. They're going by their ever-appreciated bleacher creatures. What a party it'll be in Gander tonight. 6-1 victory. 4-1 series. It's the Flyers taking the Central Newfoundland Senior Hockey title. Young and old. Brent Jenkins, could be his last season in senior hockey. Jason Boyd, what a rookie player. Chris Conrad. Russ Goss, Jeff Goss. Dean Delaney, role players. Kenny McDonald, all the players. The Gander Flyers, what a hockey team. Can't forget Eric DiTomaso, played with the best game here in the finals earlier on. Sitting out tonight, Ben Fitzgerald, Barry Hammond, all the guys. Jamie Norman. What a hockey team. They're going to pose for their championship photos. And there we see it. The Central Beothuck hockey champions for 1992-93, the Gander Flyers. Well, folks are racing to the dressing room. Ted Patey waiting for their arrival in the dressing room. Well, I'm Kenton Dunphy. I got to run down with Ted and join in on the celebration. So stay tuned. Ted Patey, in a moment's time, the Gander Flyers dressing room.